What's up, everybody? Long time no see. Like to apologize in advance. Got a little frog in my throat. I'm gonna get rid of that shit soon. Losing it. Let's begin.
By the power of Grayskull.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Last but not least, happy birthday to I'm listening. Woo! We got Nama. Woo! Everybody's favorite mother trucker, A.L. Evans. Woo! Here's that boy. We got Gavin. Woo! Sun is hot raw. What's up? Woo! See, I'm going to say this. I don't have a subject matter today because I've been gone away for so long. Yes, I know AL got in my ass about being more consistent. I'll try to do that in the next coming days and weeks. But, nigga be busy. So, we're going to talk some real shit about a lot of things. I wanted to talk about sitting in the car enjoying the nice little breeze. We're going to do some talking and some cursing. LAPD SWAT 1, what's up? But I'm going to say this. Simply Deep, what's up, bro? I'm going to start in my take on Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Okay? It's not a good day without Foxtrot being overhead, is it? You don't know who Foxtrot is? The police helicopter. Caitlin Clark is a victim of her own success. Mr. Excelsior, what's up, bro? Caitlin Clark is like my man, Conquest. A victim of her own success. It's not her fault that she's that good and you didn't train. It's a lot of jealousy. You can't turn it racial. You can't turn it into, oh, they're picking on me, which is the default setting for a lot of people. You failed to work on your craft. When you're missing all these layups and you're 6'3", You're given attributes from God that you can't buy. But you look at Caitlyn, a chick who puts her time in the lab, a chick who stands head and shoulders when it comes to skill above you. And the first goddamn thing you're going to do is try to make it look like it's some racial bullshit, which it never's been. It's called rivalry. It's called competition. You know, that thing that the average black woman doesn't know how to do is compete. Now, I've dated a lot of athletic black women, and they would tell you, I'm competitive in nature. You got to prove that you can't beat me. Okay. What's this girl's problem then? You're lucky you look half decent. You try to be Glorilla or Meg Thee Stallion in the WNBA. It would make a damn big difference if you were actually that goddamn super talented. Do you think anybody would buy a pair of Jordans if Jordan wasn't one of the greatest athletes we've seen in our day? No. No. Let's take race out of it for a minute. Let's compare your skills to Miss Clark's. You would be blown out the goddamn water. And you know it. You're getting exposed. And you know it. It's not even funny anymore. At some fucking point, you're going to have to go and make an account of yourself saying, I need to get my shit together. At some point. Because it's not being cute anymore. You're causing a lot of bullshit within your organization that once in a while they're going to be like, you're not even worth it anymore. And for some goddamn reason, we need to stop fucking babying your ass. When a black girl slams you down on your head, and you did nothing about it, you're from the same city as I'm from. That's called a bitch move. But you want the white girl to follow you, you ready to throw hands. She could be the female Rodman. That's all good and dandy. But don't cry racism every time something doesn't go your way. Don't cry that everybody's against you when everybody's been actually for your ass. Rodman was a weird dude. But did he shy away from it or did he embrace it? He used it to his advantage. But once again, when you're Caitlin Clark, you're a victim of your own success. And it's horrendous and tremendously taken out of context. So I don't want to hear it. You're supposed to be a professional athlete, something that 99.99999 to the umpteenth power will never do. Shut up and play ball. There's no racism against you. Nobody's coming after you. Shut up and ball. Please. Just do that. If your skills were adequate enough, you don't have to tell anybody about the shit. Now, to all these women out there, yeah, she does suck. What's up, babe? To all these women out there listening to Sabby Says or has a problem with what's the chick name? Damn, I can't think of it. Who says the reasons why black women aren't married? I want you to take a very close look about it. Are you what men desire? Are you what men desire? Are you a helpmate? Are you an asset? Or are you a bunch of liabilities? Many of the times you want to put the act of black patriarchy. Black patriarchy. Show me where there was a black patriarchy. Because you have a black gynocracy right now and you're failing. But I can never see where y'all can put the pictures. Show me where there was a black patriarchy. Show me. Were we in control of you during slavery? No. Reconstruction? No. Civil rights? Somewhat yes and no. I mean, what about now? Where's the remnants of this black patriarchy that you speak so highly about, that you were so oppressed over? How many of you could read and went to college while the man worked literally to the sweat of his brow? I always ask this: when did we have a fucking patriarchy? When the fuck did y'all ever listen to us? Total line. But I'm gonna just say this plainly for the niggas in the back who's not listening. So let's say we did have this patriarchy. Were you doing better in it or without it? Were you raising your children properly? What's up, Snowman? Because how many of you moms out there, your grandmothers or great grandmothers, had two sets of children? That would not go down if it was a patriarchy. Unless daddy died. But I want to see this patriarchy, though. I want to see this patriarchy. How many of your aunts and uncles have different last names? Would that be allowed in a patriarchy? If we had a so-called patriarchy that broke away 50 years ago, and if that was truly part of our culture, how could you fall so quickly from it? And then on top of that, why is it so hard for you to get married and stay married? You know the reasons why you're never going to be in a relationship. It's your attitudes. Even if you're fat, there's some crazy guy out there who like you obese women. There's an advantage for you of black men being a garbage men in the dating world. They'll need any shape, any type, any attitude. How does black men who are there 2 million less of you have almost 1 million marriages more than you? I'm sorry, Shay Sade. That's her name, Shay Sade. How? How do you let people, there's 2 million fewer, almost 1 million more marriages? And Sabi wants to argue with Shay Sade about this. Why do so many black women want to finish their degrees, their college, start a career like they're men? I think men are going to be impressed by your works. No. No. I'm starting to believe that the only reason there was an argument is because there was a better looking woman saying something that a not as good looking woman made a comment about. But yet, you could probably look at what's going on. Excuse me, try to clear out my nose. I mean, if you already a married man, and I like Savvy, especially to a non-black man, a white guy, and you said in your video you're seeing so many of the sisters not married or not engaged. Why don't we build up a channel and have like a little spa in it and actually talk to fellas during that time? Why you couldn't get with them? I mean, really. But let's take this into consideration, right? This goes out to shout out to Sabby and shout out to Shay Sade. You only get mad, and this is black women in particular. You only get mad when the truth does not favor you. And why? I mean, really, let's look at this for you got one group of women who 24%, they say 27, but I think it's 24, will never get married or haven't been married. where it's almost double. Lead a life at 14. And something has to give if you would take the same time you would pick finding a dress, finding some red bottoms, and going out if you would have took the same time and area that that if you're willing to get divorced over every frivolous shit than anything else. Everything's an offense to you. Let's not even go talk about how you rather carry than you marry. And I've said this before, you either have a double spectrum. On one side of the issue, a lot of you had babies thinking it was going to keep a dude, which never does. Or B, you had children, but it didn't matter who the father was because you wanted that baby. Something's got to give. And we keep hearing the same bullshit that black men were better, black men were better, black men. How do you let black men who you outnumber by 2 million literally? I mean, I'm trying to think of something out here. We got to come up with something a little bit better, folks. Especially if we're going to argue simple talking points in this lexicon. It straight up doesn't make sense. You know why. You don't want to change. You want to be single women in marriages. You don't want a man to rule over you. I'd rather y'all just say it. Stop saying you want the wedding, but not the marriage. You have no sense of duty to the community, no sense of duty to the family. My next thought process: lesser men. I'm going to say this again: lesser men or simps ruin everything. Looking at you, Ryan Clark. You could have just stayed on subject, stayed on code, and just talked about the sport. But no, the panderer that you are, had to go at RG3 and his wife. And you already know there's a lot of motherfuckers who went at your head because of that shit, and deservedly so. Why you gotta talk about the man's wife? Like he stopped being black the minute he married his wife. What the fuck? But then, when you got the eye of all the people in the sports world side-eyeing your dumb ass, like the little simp that could, You got exposed for having a white baby mama. Hmm. Interesting. But you failed to talk about that your oldest child is from mixed race. So when your child's going through something, you wouldn't like it if somebody said only half of her understands, right? Only half of her needs support of black people, right? But because of that little simp shit, our boy Ryan has to justify his blackness and try to get some validation out of silly bitches. Now, what went wrong? You did all that to throw a brother under the bus just so you didn't have to talk the truth about sorry ass Angel Reese. You couldn't keep it professional, could you? You're trying to pander for those Derek Jackson dollars. And instead of keeping it funky and 100, which people would have respected, you had to throw another brother and his wife under the bus. You may never hear my live stream, but I hope it does carry. You are a classless motherfucker for that. And to have the audacity to have a white baby mama and talk about a dude who has a white wife is the equivalent of the Jamaican calling the African black. Only for dollars and views, you will sell out the race. That's why there's no true brotherhood. You have to get your vindication from the eyes of women, especially black women, to sell out your brother. A man who has nothing to do but was doing his job talking about it. And you slimy for that shit. Slimy is all hell for that. And nobody wants to call him out on that. Thank God a lot of newscasters put his business on Front Street. Remember, it was a lot of black men who supported your shit before any women came viewing you. You don't do that. Back in the day, people got punched in their mouth for less. Talking about a man's wife. But he said, this is why I tell brothers stop crying about racism all the time. Niggas sound like the bitches they complain about. Exactly. How are you going to justify a 6'3" basketball player who can't make layups? You're tall for nothing. You're given all the talents from God and won't train on them. And then you wonder why that white woman is lighting your asses up in the WNBA. Don't cry, get better. Let's see how long your career lasts with these funky ass missing layups. You lucky you were on LSU. You're lucky. Nobody would have heard about you. And about a year or two, if you keep playing this up, you're going to be irrelevant. But once again, full circle conversation. Ask RG3 why did he marry his wife? He wasn't getting no NIL deals. Well, he was in college. How do you know how their relationship works? Snowman, I think she peaked during college. The championship game that she beat Clark in was the best game of her life, and she's been a disappointment after that. But it goes back to what we say in this space: a black man has no reprieve, not even from his own fellow black man. Oh! I bet he's not bad. I want to know when you have a sorry player being defended because she's black, instead of talking about the job she's supposed to perform in her chosen career. What does that tell you? When Lisa Leslie offered to get your skills up, and you were so called improving, that's what they say. I'm not a basketball watcher like that. You could probably say it all. Where's the skills, Angel? Where's the fundamentals? You can't tell me you were in the gym working on your shot and then get mad about it. I mean, what more does a man have to do? To one, being respected. I mean, let's be actual factual. You can't even understand how it feels to be a black man who sees the world without pandering and sympathy. I'm really starting to wonder, will black men ever have any reprieve? I mean, I'm still trying to get to this point where saying that about the man's wife was going to do what? I'm pretty sure he knew she was white the whole time. It's not like she was in blackface or some shit. Reverse blackface or blackface. I'm really trying to see what all this had to do about shit. I'm just wondering. It's a failure of respect for a black man's sanctity. It's a failure of black men having the right to choose happiness. I'm supposed to make myself miserable to make you comfortable? No, we don't do that here. And because I made a decision to make her my wife, not my baby mother, I get charged for it. Here's a good question. Well, nope. And don't forget to post your questions too if you want me to answer a few questions. Does a woman's body count matter? Interesting. Interesting. Let me break this down. I'm not Dr. T. I'm not BGS. I'm not Ron Wills. I'm not Cousin Teacher. I'm Charles Faulkner Jr. So I'm going to do it my way. No, if you're just trying to hit. If anything, you kind of want her to have a high body count because it's the more likely she's going to sleep with you. Yes, if you're looking for a long-term relationship with that woman, because if you don't, she can't bond with you. I'm glad you brought up Cassie. Okay. When you look at a woman like Cassie, why did that white boy marry her? And Most likely that white boy who married her. Look at his net worth. Mm-mm-mm. When you want a woman with a high body count, that means she's a fun girl. That means she is Mrs. Right now. The destruction she could cause can be deep down the stream. I mean, let's call a spade here. Men love hoes, they just don't want to marry hoes. Imagine being Cassie's fucking husband and you're hearing all this nasty shit. And see, Bay said he married her because he found out what that mouth could do. He didn't know this history we're being exposed to. He was smitten. Rumor has it he's punished. He's pushed for the lawsuit, of course, because he benefits. You ever notice how black women tell black men, she's only there for your money? Notice what type of white boys they marry typically. The cheddar bob broke niggas. Because they want validation through somebody that's not black, especially black male. Guess what she gonna do? She gonna pay for that nigga to stay. When you gotta walk out the courtroom, and guess what? If she is pregnant, guess who's gonna take the child to get child support? I'm talking to you, Holly Berry. Look how stupid she looks. She thought that she would leave niggas alone, leave brothers alone. And guess what happened? Had two babies by two different white dudes, and they both hooked up with child support. Everybody wants to be a nigga, so they treat it like one, huh? Because you make all this money, because you wanted to work on your career, and you wonder why top level guys never took you seriously. I want you to think about that. I mean, what the fuck are you get out of this? Neighbor said, furthermore, Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, is actually 6.5 years her junior. She really gave him the business in order to lock him down. Of course. When you suck dick till your jaw falls off, I mean, what else is there? Yeah, just not for us, huh? I want you to think about that shit. With that being into the lexicon, does he have enough ammo to say, I don't think my wife is mentally or morally stable to be a full time parent around my child? Huh. I want you to think about this, right? You get into these predicaments with a lot of these women, especially when she's older than you, so she's got more control, she's got more money. Do something she doesn't agree with. I want you to think about that. Your kids know, or they could just, if they're still young, they could always come back to social media and see what they said, see what you said. I want you to think about this. You're the man who thought so highly of your wife. You're hearing all these negative things about her. Letting random men ejaculate in her mouth multiple times, and then taking a spit on your head and rubbing it on a freaky ass Diddy. So how how do you want to prosper? How do you want to prosper knowing that you caused your family embarrassment? It's so sad. It's so sad that you got Negroes who got the best of opportunities and will throw it away at the slightest dime. Hmm. So here's the crazy part you find out about these relationships altogether. Nobody really wants to see you happy. Nobody. Let's look at that. You can't be happy being married. You can't be happy being single. Can't be happy with somebody by yourself. I mean, that's really called a spade. You can even be married, happy married an old hoe. And yes, I think Cassie should face charges because you were a recruiter too, not a damn victim. You're far from a victim. I mean, this is the reason why sometimes I believe what Bay says. These bitches are gonna keep doing what they doing. We are gonna be the foolish niggas worrying about the bitches when life, technology, economics, militaristic occupations pass us the fuck by. I expect our women to do foolishness. I know my women. These are the same women that will uplift a jailbird but put down their baby fathers who are doing the damn thing. They will keep their children away from a good father as long as they get to rule in hell. But they won't even tell you the real truth about the shit. You think Cassie was real honest about her whole life? Then you want to cry about getting beat up by a sociopath. I'm not condoning you getting kicked and beat in your face, but you telling me you couldn't leave at any time before that? What about after that? How long did it take you to leave? I mean, really, let's think about this, right? How much of a victim you are if somebody did something that heinous to you, you're willing to go to civil court and not criminal court. You know what, justice? You want cash. Well, let's look how stupid Diddy is. If you know that they were gunning for your ass, why do you go to the same island run, dude? You don't hear shit out of him anymore, do you? But here's the problem. Cassie was just an opener to get to the real shit. Okay? It's just like the Shannon Sharp shit. If the bitch wants $50,000, you pay that dumb bitch off. Go about your life. You sign those contracts. Oh, let's not talk about Remy Ma. Let's not even talk about Remy Ma. A bitch who's pretty only from the neck down, who was a jailbird, had a man support her daughter, who was not biologically his, and this is the thanks he gets.
Hey, Charles. Can you hear me? ABM, what's good? AL?
Everybody can hear you, Neighbor.
Good. Just making sure. I appreciate that.
What you know good about this situation in New Orleans, Neighbor? That's what I really want to talk about. The obfuscation and the throwing other women under the bus because we don't know how to take accountability for our leadership roles as leaders in the black community. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. That's what I mean.
Let me finish about this Remy Ma shit real quick, and I'm gonna get into that
All right, please do. I'm going on mute.
because I guess everybody likes my crash out days. Seems like that's the only shit that sells these days.
Well,
But
it
oh
comes
well.
with cake, so.
Huh?
Well, it comes with cake, so you know.
Cake. Oh boy. Rihanna told you she gonna make you your bitch. Her bitch. I mean, let me shout out to ABM. No, you gotta go. See, Remy Ma is the quintessential black woman. Period. You thought it was fucking Michelle Obama and it was Remy Ma. You were on you had no help from anybody. Papoose stayed up, raised your daughter. And you know what I'm about to say next. This is the fucking thanks he get. A disloyal bitch. That's why a lot of niggas tell you stay away from them fucking New York bitches. Stay away from the New York bitches.
Bitches be trifling.
If it's more trifling, you know what's more trifling than a Baltimore bitch? A New York one.
What's more trifling than a New York bitch?
A New Orleans bitch. Or an
You know
Atlanta
what?
bitch.
Or a Jersey chick for that matter, in some cases.
Well, if you want a stupid one, you get one out of California or Texas.
Uh-huh. You get a
Midwest
bitch.
bitches.
And then here's the bad part about the Papoose Remy Ma shit.
Uh-huh.
You got the straight off a Timu version of Papoose. And he got a much more better bitch than you. A younger bitch than you. A 2-time Olympic gold medalist. A 3-time undisputed in 3 weight classes bitch than you. You will be known as a good, maybe great female rapper. The bitch he got now was already a Hall of Famer. Her career's not even done yet. Who elevated it here? You left a dude who was down for you, and you left a nigga that was down, and you got a nigga that's down. And then the worst part about it, Papoose cold cocked the nigga and put his lights out.
Papoose is no joke. He in New York nigga himself.
And,
You know what it was? She was bored.
No.
No,
Y'all
no,
live
Let me explain it. Let me explain it.
hands, but the only way Remy go beat Clarissa is if she go back to her jailhouse tactics, and you better have a razor in her mouth. Other than that, the bitch ain't gonna win. Period, point blank.
I ain't stepping to no fucking Carissa. That
See,
bitch talking that stupid shit. Go ahead, man.
look, she was bored, so she wanted to, get some excitement. So maybe she could have her and Papoose could have some good, rough, thuggish. Oh my God, you really love me type of sex. You know how it is when, this is why you don't get involved when your sister's boyfriend they get to fighting and she come, oh, he beat me up because you know your sister better than she know herself. You met her boyfriend, he ain't that tight. Or if he is that tight, then it's like, well, what the hell you want me to do? Break up with him. I
And
told
she
you,
ain't nothing good.
he wasn't about shit, but there you are. So now you want me to go and fight him so that way later tonight you can, oh, poor baby, and then give him some, poor baby pussy. or worse yet, I get beat up or killed, then what type of sex is he getting? You know what I'm saying? For at the cost of my fucking safety and
And
security.
then here's the worst part about it, right?
Get the fuck out of here. This is one of them situations.
The worst part about it is this. She'll still fuck the nigga even though your body's not even cold yet.
Right.
And help the nigga escape the police. Aid and abetting.
Right. Right.
Yep.
That's that shit that's going on in New Orleans right now. Why they can't find them dudes? Who the fuck you think is helping them dudes get away?
If you think these motherfuckers were some criminal masterminds, I'ma slap a Mangekyo Sharingan out your ass. A little bit of Naruto humor if you get the joke.
By the
Them
way,
niggas
there's
ran right
clips.
to they bottom bitches. Every
Hold on a
last
second.
of them.
Hey, hold on a second.
Go
First of
ahead.
all, I was going through my Facebook feed earlier today. Oh, by the way, shouts out to all my kinfolk. Happy Independence Day for us. Yeah, today is Independence Day. We're back home. I was thinking regarding this, Papoose thing. There's clips of Papoose in the gym working. You see Clarissa. She's working the heavy bag, right? And then she pauses for a minute because Papoose is running that speed bag like a motherfucker. You watch him just working it.
You know what?
He got hand speed.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of game, right? Somebody hit that cash app, two people. I'm gonna give you a little bit of
He
game.
boxed Golden Gloves when he was coming up.
I'm gonna give you some game, right?
Yeah.
Get you an athletic chick and do some shit that she doesn't expect you to do. I had a chick who did lifting. She who will not be named. I've told the story before. She was 5'8", 160 pounds, but could bench press 260.
All right.
She sees me get over the... Huh?
Did she have any background in martial arts or anything like that?
Like Muay Thai.
All right,
little bit of wrestling and jiu-jitsu I taught her.
Good. No, that's the reason I asked the question. It's valid to the conversation here, folks. But anyway.
And I put 405 on the bar. I let it sit on my chest for about 20, 30 seconds. And she's scared that, I can't get it up. And I got it up like it weighed nothing. Even the guy beside me was amazed. Like, good God, I didn't even think you were going to get it up. And it just, boom. He said, dude, that is nothing but straight power. Do you know how wet that got her? That, wow.
Could have drowned the toddler.
You could have, man, Noah was building.
Eggs, man. She would have drowned the eggs and shit.
Nigga. Noah was building another boat.
And this time you had to get 4 of every kind.
He wasn't as slutty as you speak of. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Noah was building another goddamn boat. What the fuck you do now, Charles?
She was wet, or wet, or wet,
So
or wet.
A lot of you niggas need to really, and shut out the wrong Wills. That body game shit that he talks about is the truth. A lot of you niggas, you wonder why some of your problems is that you don't have a bitch that you can't relate with. If your thing is the gym, get a gym bitch. Why are you getting a fat bitch if you're in shape? Let me put it to you this way. If you don't mesh well, people are going to look at you weird. You're going to look at it weird yourself. One chick I'm talking to, she's 46. She's fit as a motherfucker. She got to get shoulder surgery, but guess what? Guess what she was doing today? 45 minutes on the goddamn treadmill.
Yeah, she got to keep her cardio up. You know?
Even when she finally seen me, she was like, good God, the size of your arms. A lot of you motherfuckers, number one, you look too ordinary. You have nothing spectacular to say about yourself. You know, you got a guy like AL who's an owner operator who's been across from LA to Baltimore, from Anaheim to New York, from Miami to fucking St. Louis. He can literally tell stories of his travels and keep motherfuckers entertained. Look at Babe when him and his father owned the bookstore. How many fucking black cultured fucking icons went through that store and out? Even when he was doing photography. Name her. How many languages do you know?
About three.
3 languages. How many
Three languages, and I
niggas?
can comprehend other languages and cultures. You see, I can even look at certain writings, and I can tell you where that comes from and whatnot, because at least I had to learn. Even though can't read it, I can know what those symbols symbolize, because I learned history and shit.
And most motherfuckers, the Cat in the Hat is whooping their ass.
How many people
And
are
that's
even
just
worldly, man?
and that's just what's one of the one things I tell men to be worldly. Why do you think she looked up? This is a world champion, a multiple-time world champion, the only 2-time Olympic gold medalist in boxing, male or female. Looking at her dude like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. And how did she look at him, neighbor? How did she look at him?
She was like, because she was working the heavy bag, right? And everybody was focused on her. The next thing you know, everybody just shifts their attention. Because remember, it was like she was on the heavy bag, right? And about 10 feet from her right, over her shoulder, the camera just veers over to Papoose, who's working the speed bag. And she's like, paused. She's like, yo, everybody's like watching, Papoose work the speed bag. And this guy did not miss a beat. He switched the beat, but he never missed a beat. He was on point constantly. He was working that. And she was like, everybody's like, yo, work that nigga. Work it, man. Work it.
And did she have that look of admiration?
Admiration and surprise.
And one thing, should I go in a little bit on that too?
Let me say this. Don't be surprised if Papoose coming up box Golden Gloves.
Don't be surprised.
Don't be surprised.
See, 2 things I've said before. There's 2 things black men are not really used to seeing, the average black man. A woman looking at you in lust and admiration. Am I telling a lie, fellas? Please correct me if I'm lying. Chat, panel, anybody.
Bishop Bullwinkle? Hell no.
Yes.
To the no. You on point, son.
You know how Eddie Murphy.
Because here's my shit. Here's my shit. And Bay will tell you, and trust me, me and Bay traded stories before offline, right?
Yeah.
How many times we've talked about women who said we weren't their type, but next thing you know, you stand for breakfast, if you know what I mean, and I think you do.
Bruh, the chick who demanded that I marry her, I wasn't her type.
Shit.
Do you understand?
Because
I wasn't her
yeah,
type.
Exactly. Every time I hear these statements by women, you don't believe what a woman says, but you always observe what she does. When you look like, when you're this guy who can break down books intellectually to a woman, when you look like a guy who's been around the world and you start to notice the power you possess. And that's a very beautiful and powerful thing. But some of us scramble our fucking abilities for the low-hanging fruit. You start to realize the more and more you hear about him and Clarissa, what the fuck did him and Remy really have in common?
Nothing.
It really wasn't the music, but the simple fact he wrote all her lyrics, and that came out.
Yeah.
Oh, he ghostwrote for her? All right.
Yeah, he ghost wrote for her. I mean, look at her, think of her, and think about. Do you think she had the ability to let them rhymes come out her creative head on her own? Not
Wait,
no, but
who wrote her lyrics?
no, no.
Who wrote her lyrics?
Papoose.
Papoose,
Papoose. He goes
her
for
soon to be future ex-husband.
And you know what's fucked up? Anybody who follow hip hop even half decently knows when a nigga go to jail, when they come out, they gonna have a fire ass album.
Fuck that bitch. No,
You
no, no.
know?
What was the Tupac post jail song?
Oh yeah. Oh, what was that? Shit. When Tupac came out, then he had Take Money.
Every other video. No
You
matter
see
where I
this.
go, I see
I
the
You
see
see
same.
the
the
same
same girl.
hole.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about with like I mean,
Tupac was never about dissing women.
oh, when he came out of
No,
jail after that
Yeah,
fucking rape allegation, oh, he
yeah,
changed that shit.
yeah. He
like you
like,
said,
fuck
you niggas
it.
need to go back to the penitentiary days with jacking off because motherfuckers are killing each other over bitches. And I'm like, yeah,
Like,
point there.
like you gotta understand something.
Mhm.
When you finally find something, a few things that women don't know about you, and they're surprised.
Yeah.
I like to say this. A lot of you niggas talk like bitches sometimes. Stop telling every goddamn thing.
Mhm.
You know? But then, and then here's the craziest part about this. And let's go into what AL was talking about. And what was that, New Orleans?
That shit, no one was the prison break.
That wasn't a prison break. That was a fucking let out.
Yeah.
Especially considering who, one of the guards, she went to go get something to eat and let them out, and they just like took advantage of that
No,
situation.
what she was going to give was get some dick.
That too. Well, she wanted to get some meat, so she was eating some dick.
I mean,
Eating dick.
how do you not know this? If you know how you don't know this, that a toilet has been ripped from the wall with a big old opening outside. You know how you don't notice that a security door has been broken and ripped off its hinges. You know how you don't notice that until like the next shift because you're not doing your rounds. You're not
Purposely.
doing your job.
This is the reason why I always said, why do we have females in corrections? It's one thing if
They
they're
should be
in
in
charge
men.
of
They should
female.
be in men facilities. In female facilities, yes, but not male ones.
Hell no.
When you put females in jail cells, it's usually the miscreants. And they're trying to find their little long lost boyfriends.
I'm gonna find you and save you, Pookie. I swear.
Remember last year? You probably don't remember this, but last year, a year and a half, it was a rash of female prison guards, both state and local, and federal here in Georgia, the mainly state, were getting fired left and right, charged because they were either smuggling, having sex with, special favors with the inmates.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rash of them here in Georgia, like a string of them.
And how many? I remember you asked me about that shit. And what did I tell you, Bay? Why the fuck do you have females in male facilities? Did I not say that?
Yeah, it's stupid. You can't even trust the lesbians. You can't even trust the lesbians. Like, come
No.
on.
And lesbians, I'm gonna say this, are some of the biggest simps ever too.
Oh yeah.
How you a female? You don't know female behavior.
But a lot of them just be they don't feel attractive or something happened to them, so therefore they're lesbian. But I mean, let's be honest, they're forcing that lesbianism on themselves as a form of protection from childhood trauma.
And also,
It's a coping mechanism. That's all it is. Base correct. They're just trying to obfuscate it and use it as a coping mechanism.
Yeah, it's a
Did you
coping
know
mechanism.
don't play. Just because you homely in the face and you homely on the inside, that's nothing but your idiosyncrasy and insecurity coming at you trying to repress. That's all.
even if you're not facially attractive, I've told women this. At least get your body right. You're a black woman. I'm sorry. Black men will fuck anything. You get your body right. And believe it or not, it actually does make your facial features look a little bit better when you lose all the fat around your face and don't look like don't look like fucking Chubby Chase in the face. I
Or
mean,
chubby checkers.
Replace that with Theodore the Chipmunk, please. Theodore the Chipmunk.
Oh, come on. Don't ruin my
I
childhood
mean,
like
old
that.
swollen ass face.
What am I doing?
Oh, bitch, look like Fat Albert. Gotta wear 2 bras for the breast and the fat. And you telling me y'all lost how many people?
Was it 13?
13
10.
motherfuckers. Is this a Scooby Doo show with the 13 ghosts? God damn! And you
That's why they say it was an inside job. That's why they say it was an inside job.
Had to be.
There's no way in hell the morning shift was the ones that made the discovery. If you're the one doing your job, you're there by yourself. I'm pretty. I mean, even security guards have to walk around and tap. They walk around with that little metal stick and they tap them little metal buttons at doorways or whatnot to show that they're doing their rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have that system, then what is the overnight guard gonna do?
Oh,
They're gonna
no,
write a report.
not Shamika.
Anybody?
Got effed up. Shamika said, "You go pay me to sit on my ass. I don't like this job that much. I'm a black woman. I'm a pimp the sister."
See?
Anybody who's anybody in police, military, or fire, I am quick to write the report to say this is what I found during my shift at this approximate time. So guess what? They got to look between the hours of such and such and such and such. Do you know how much you got to pull? How much damage and noise you're making?
So much that they have to rectify the situation.
Not only that, Chuck. Not only the fact that they busted up a whole integrated toilet sink stall because you know it's a like a 4-in-1 and it's made of metal. Yeah, it's made of metal. Not only that, bro. When they after they broke that, it had to be an inside job because you know the pod cell doors on the outside, they're big metal sliding doors that have to open up the little in.
Yeah, the Sally port.
Yeah, they actually had Jimmy the Sally port door one of those pods open to where 3 or 4. I mean, I know hefty sense that fat boys could slide through, but muscular thin dudes, oh, they were sliding through that, brother. Like I say, 10 of them escaped. 10 of them. And then they wrote on the wall, "Too easy." This was too easy with a ha underneath. I'm like, get out of here.
And then guess what? What type of crimes these motherfuckers were convicted with?
Oh, first degree, second degree murders, kidnapping, armed robbery, assault, sexual assault. These were high violent offenders we're talking about.
Bounty hunters should be after their ass. And my friend said, why should bounty hunters be after them?
because these
Because
people
now
are armed and injured.
they're fleeing felons. They're fair game, meaning that because they fled the law, it's damn near legal to shoot them, especially knowing their violent tendencies. You think they're gonna go back to jail if they did all that shit?
Hell no.
Will
They
they?
try.
That's the only time where it's required. Want it? Bring them in, dead or alive.
We going back to Wild West rules with them niggas.
You have to.
Wow, words. Hey, they're gonna be saying you better kill me first, and you be like, all right.
Hey,
What's funny, man?
this is
What's
the
funny?
kicker.
Horses down Main Street. Look,
Look, this is
You got
the
the
kicker.
horses
By
down
time-
Main Street.
By the time they decided they were going to put this on the news and let the media know, they had about a 12 and a half hour head start. A 12 and a half hour head start.
That
right.
means they could be anywhere. You can
And
get
you
roughly in the United. You can roughly get. You can,
that far away from Texas. Please, them motherfuckers is on the first thing smoking whatever they can rob, steal, and kill, get a hold of as far as transportation is concerned. They gone. If it had any sense,
You're-
where the first
okay.
three, they decided to go right back to the
Okay,
neighborhood.
You're one of our official transportation guys. How far from each point of the United States can you get from one point to the other in 12 hours?
Oh shit! You know, all them small states, what east of Louisiana, shit, you can get within them states within an hour, hour and a half. If Texas, that's gonna take you forever and a day. So, and like they say, they didn't know which way these boys was headed. They could have went as far as Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, back towards Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, or Arkansas. Yes,
Because they could make it in Baltimore by then.
No telling whose grandma.
Would you say they could make it in like Baltimore, Virginia, and Philly by then, right?
yes.
No telling whose grandma probably got a gun at her head, being forced to drive cross country right now.
Yep.
I mean,
Who knows?
I'm saying that's exactly how law enforcement is looking at it, because these are desperate men.
These are armed and dangerous.
Desperate men.
These are fleeing felons, man. The rules change. You're gonna have rifles and shotguns pointed. And 9 out of 10, when they catch these other 10, at least 3 of them is gonna be a shootout. Maybe 5.
They said 5 have been captured. The first 3 were caught in a span of less than 2.5 hours. Those are the dummies who decided to go right back in. They crossed I-10 and decided we gonna go right back into our old neighborhood because we miss home and home is all we know, and we can't think past our dicks to even think about getting up out.
No plan.
Yeah.
Hide out at my baby mama's house.
The other 2 made them work. But the last 5 that's out, those are the ones you know have done high level crime, ain't scared, got nothing to lose. And guess what? We on a mission to get as far the fuck away from New Orleans and Louisiana as possible. So it's those 5 you need to be worried about. Them first 5, those were total lackadaisical, low IQ idiots, period, point blank.
Yeah.
These others, they're master escape artists. They're master escape artists.
And you're telling me, first and foremost, I'm going to my baby mama's house.
Yeah, that's what the first 3 did.
You gotta be the dumbest nigga in the creation.
That's the first place they look. Your baby mama's house or your mama's house. They stake out both.
No, they stake out one more. Never forget about the grandma. They always grandma.
Live, yeah. Grandma, yeah. Your auntie, whoever's close to whoever's because they already have, because this ain't your first offense. So all of your contacts, you've already jotted them down. So really, that's our first place to look. You know what I'm saying? If not,
they got them all down, so they know where to go. They know they profile them. They profile them.
Yeah, you self snitch when you fill out that paperwork.
And not to mention the stupid idiots who decided we want to harbor them because we miss them and we feel they were done unjust. Look at here.
That's
You just
aiding and
done,
abetting.
Going to jail too.
yeah, you just done sealed your face. You going to jail right along with it. You cannot harbor a fugitive. Idiot.
Aiding and abetting, yo.
That's what this congresswoman's about to find out. Like, no, you go to jail for harboring fugitives, fighting for them, trying to muscle your way in. You want to throw the bows? You can throw the bows with people in jail.
Aiding and abetting a
Aiding and
fugitive.
abetting, harboring a fugitive.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you talk about some serious time.
And
That's
you a
federal
judge?
time, man. And
Yeah.
now you already know. They already know. They sending the marshals after your ass. They sending the manhunters. That's the nickname of the marshals, by the way.
Who remembers the movie U.S. Marshals or The Fugitive? They ain't fucking around.
Shit. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised that if they did hire bounty hunters. But you know what was not surprising?
What's that?
So, okay, so you're Mr. Law Enforcement, sir.
You know, according to some people, I never was
Who's in charge of the jail?
the warden.
Okay, who's in charge of the city jail?
The warden,
Who else?
and also whatever captains and majors underneath them.
Who about
And also the state, because most jails are state ran.
who about the sheriff?
The sheriff is like for city jails or whatever that's the city.
Right,
But
because that's
in Baltimore, the corrections run the jails. The
right,
sheriffs are the people who do the warrants and other stuff and evictions.
right.
This
They
is the huge jail they broke out of. And
charge of.
7 of them had already been convicted, but waiting to be extradited to state penitentiary. And I mean, they
Right.
literally
Yeah.
in their jail for like 8-9 months. It takes you 8 or 9 months to transfer a convicted person who's already been convicted to state penitentiary. That's bullshit. It's a whole lot of
Well-
obfuscating going on and passing the buck.
Well, it's also because you could be charged in different states, but also sometimes they'll make deals with other states because whoever has the most severe penalties, they'll usually give it to them,
Fuck.
or they'll conjoint their time into it. So once you cross that state line, or once you have a fleeing felon, the marshal's office is getting that ring, 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 ring. And if you ever see, go look on YouTube, especially this one channel, General Discharge, and go look up U.S. Marshal General Discharge and see what the marshals carry in their trunks.
Ooh.
See what they carry in their trunks. Everything and a kitchen sink. Like, I tell people, you know, legally in Maryland, I could do bounty hunting. Oh man, thank you, licensing. I tell a lot of niggas, man, why? Like, think about it. If I got a short barreled shotgun that holds around 6 slugs or 4 slugs, 5 slugs, or if I get the minis, which are even better because I get more, and I just put slugs in that bitch, I'm gonna tear your ass apart, especially in a doorway with double-aught buck. You're just gonna get fucked.
Completely incapacitated.
Incapacitated if you're still living. Like,
Dangerous game.
I tell people, I said, and this is one thing they will tell you. How long have I told niggas to carry?
You've been telling me for damn near 2 years.
I told you niggas to carry because you never know who the fuck's out there. I've told you motherfuckers to carry. I warned you. Did I not warn you motherfuckers? Even during the first Trump presidency, you don't know what the fuck's out there. I couldn't tell you exactly what's coming, but I warned you. All these motherfuckers they were letting over the border. Did I not warn y'all?
Yeah, you warned us.
You was warning us. Everybody that was talking about this whole border situation was warning us, but nobody was listening. Nobody was listening.
And then
Yeah.
look at this. All these liberals, oh, they're just hardworking people. Do you think that lady whose daughter was kidnapped and raped and killed, do you think they were some hardworking people? No. You got people from a different set of rules who play and live by them. You don't know what
Criminals.
the
Don't care
culture
about you and don't care
criminals.
what you.
They literally were released from prison and given stipend of American money to come to the border.
And you letting these motherfuckers in your country. In your country. Did you hear about people getting this? I gotta ask this question. Did you hear this shit happening during the first Trump presidency?
No,
No,
Did you
he was
even hear about this during Obama's presidency?
no.
no, he was
And that
deported
motherfucker,
left and right.
and he was the deporter in chief.
Nigga, breathe wrong. Get him the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. Get out of here, fucker. I mean, but yet you only heard about this surge of insurrection by these illegals only during Biden's administration, and you thought motherfuckers was gonna bring the Disney cheerleading bitch to run the country?
But you want to sign the criminal law bill enacted in the 90s. Yeah, you're real smart, old white man.
But yet, you know how fucked up it was when a lot of Hispanics and Latinos voted for Trump because they knew what type of motherfuckers were coming?
Some of them were their own trifling ass relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
like
they're
I
like,
left to get
listen, and they're
away
like,
from
listen,
you.
you fucking shit up for everybody. You gotta go.
I left to get away from you. I came here legally to make sure that I would never ever have to see your face again.
Some of
Why
them
do you
were
think I
given
don't visit?
Hey, some of them were given amnesty during the days of Reagan. So Reagan, okay.
Yep.
So
And I'm gonna
That's
tell you this.
fine. But I
Somebody
never
need to
went
put this in the
to
chat
you
for time and
again.
memorial because the T-shirt might come out this summer. Niggatry knows no bounds nor color.
yeah,
No.
Should
fuckery.
I say it again? Niggatry knows no bounds nor color.
What did I tell you in text? I even call white people the hard R.
Mm-hmm.
They the biggest ones.
You're the biggest
It's
niggas.
different from
Why?
somebody. This is a learned behavior from being on them plantations around them Dixiecrats, what do they call them? The overseers and whatnot. They
Mm-hmm.
were
That
doing
bad country English.
you were pretty much being educated and enslaved over and raped, beaten, and tortured by people who today would be living in trailer parks
Mm-hmm.
or
There was
in
another
the mountains
And those
somewhere.
people would take their frustrations out on you because they know they could. Because you were just as less than human
Yeah, they taught you how to behave
with their brutality.
as an American citizen for hundreds of years. That's why they you know what we call them?
But
Generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
We call them generational curses. And for
Terrible,
hundreds and
terrible
even
to be passed down from generation to generation.
generational trauma.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And
you
And
that's
know,
you
why I said,
telling me, you
but
telling me, oh well, you should tell people they need to carry. We don't need guns. You
you out of your
liberal-minded
mind?
fucks. You liberal-minded fucks.
you
I
don't need
think.
one until you need one.
See, this is the
And then
reason
you
why it's hard to be around liberals because they live in this fairy tale fucking world. We need to fight for gay rights. We don't even have all of our rights.
But
Okay.
they gave you the Emancipation Proclamation, bitch. They just said in code, you still a slave, dummy. That was no law. Never been a law.
How are you
They
gonna
took
send
the
a letter
13th to
out
let you
to a
guys out.
How are you gonna send a letter out to a fucking part that succeeded from the country and does not recognize your authority? Oh shit, Lincoln told us something. We need to stop the war. Let these niggas go. Let my niggas go.
Hold on, Charles. I gotta say it. Let me say it. I refuse to respect your authority.
And here's my shit.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back into the stupid ass shit again. You let the most dangerous. It's like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo.
I missed that cartoon series.
I'm
That was good. That was a good series. No, I'm kidding. I ain't
laughing
bullshitting.
because
That
I've seen it. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. You let the most dangerous motherfuckers out off a dick.
You know what those? You know what those security car? You know, those female COs are. If
Dick
this was the
hungry?
13 goes, no. If they were, if this was the 13 go to a Scooby Doo, you know what that would make those those COs, those correctional officers.
What's
They
that?
would be basically be those two ghosts that were always trying to sabotage Scooby's gang, but always kept getting into shit.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
This
Yeah.
is the reason why. And let me guess, they're both black.
A lot. Well, the ghosts were white, but in this case, you know, the correctional officers were all black, definitely black.
Of course. Because going to jail for committing crimes is racist.
It's greatness, nigga. Greatness. And you know what's so sad about it? What's so sad about it is this. What's up, All Star G? You gotta learn your lesson about this shit, right?
Yeah.
When black women talk about the patriarchy, I want you to point. Black women have been in charge of single mother homes since when?
1964.
So I was going to say since before I got here in 1972.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 72.
I say
Yeah.
60.
I mean,
Let's give
children
it. Let's give it around.
took
Let's
hold
give it
of-
around 72, 76.
All right.
Okay.
Let's
That
Let's use-
4-year window.
huh?
That 4-year window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's give it that. Because we still have more married people in America than in the black community than single mothers at that time. In that 56 in that 46 to 50 year span, under the rule and authority of black women, did we produce better children or worse?
Worse.
Did we become crime infested?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Did education go up or down?
Down.
Through the floor.
Did we have overachievers or just fucking losers produced?
We had a shit ton of LeBrons produced. How about that for an answer?
Yeah, that's good enough for me. Good night, everybody. So, with that being said, and everything is fair, you've been ruling undisputedly for roughly 50 years, and you brought us in a state that's even worse than anything we've seen since slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights. And what you really did, you brought us right smack dab into the crack epidemic of the 80s and the violence of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Boys in the Hood?
And
When the
now,
mother dropped off the son to the father?
yeah.
Yeah.
How old was he roughly in that movie? The character he betrayed. How old
He
was
was
he?
10. He was like 10.
Yeah.
He was
A whole
10, and then 8 years into that hood in there.
A whole decade of you fucking up this child. Now you want to send him to the father?
With the damage already being done.
Wait a minute. How long were they divorced? Is the question. That's the
And
question I
and
want
think
to know.
about and that's the funniest part.
Why?
At least they were married. Now
Why?
you just got baby boys. And then let's look at that. How far were you removed? Go ahead.
I guarantee you it was over money that she
Mhm.
felt she wasn't
I
trying
guarantee you that too.
better. Because look at her lifestyle and look at his.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And what he was doing, and what he didn't care about the money like that. But let's not
Okay.
forget how. No. Here's the thing I got to consider. We got to consider how long were they married, how long were they divorced, and how old was Trey at the time, and
You know
did he
what?
have visitation rights to his father? How often did he see his
It
father
had to
when they
been
were
when he was
split up?
young. It had to been when he was young because
Okay.
if you really look at it, if you take a look at the scenery, okay, the abstract lifestyles. She's highfalutin, fancy schmancy. What was they in an apartment or a house? Her and Trey.
They stayed in a house in a residential area,
House.
in a safer
Okay.
residential area.
Right. They was in the highfalutin area, right?
High
Whereas
affluent,
the father had the house in Compton.
yeah. Mhm.
That was the marital home. She left. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She left because look at his outlook at the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? He had no problem living there. He was amongst his people, even though it was crime riddled. It was during the crack, but first it was just crime. The crack epidemic hit when the boys became teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right. But at the time it was just crime, it was just the gangs, the Crips and the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really took it seriously. Except for people who had the money, they made the money to get out. So she wanted to move, he didn't. So that's probably what caused their divorce. They had a split in as far as philosophical ideologies over sociology.
I believe it.
Also, here's another thing to consider, Bay. Because remember that there was that scene where a young 10-year-old Trey was fishing with his dad,
Yeah.
and his father professed to him that he was a Vietnam. He fought in Vietnam. He's a veteran.
Boy, that
So
sounds
that
so
changed.
eerily. That movie, when you really think about it, that movie sounds so eerily familiar. Guess how I know?
Your father,
Been there, done that.
Charles Senior, is a veteran, served in
Guess,
Marines. But
and
here's
guess
the
what? My
thing.
parents divorced.
Yes,
They split up when I was around 9. I guess it was finalized around 11. So
how messy? How amicable or how messy was it? Was it amicable? Amicable. All right.
I'll put it to you this way. I had to threaten my mother and father when Peanut was born. He will never know the mess that I saw between you two. The minute it comes up, you will never see your grandchild, and I will make sure of that.
Good. Because the reason I'm bringing that up also is what he warned Trey. There's no place for a black man in the white man's army, because remember,
Which is the worst lie
names.
you could ever tell a black man.
Well, at that time when you think about it, especially considering that their names are
How do you think
Jason
they got the
Styles
house?
Jr. and the third,
How
Furious
do
and
you
Trey.
think? How do you think they got that goddamn house? It wasn't because the mom was working hard.
No, it's from his dad's benefits.
It's from dad's.
Why do you
Dad's
think
benefits.
the most shameful thing you can ever do is be a veteran and buy a house, and that bitch gets it.
Oh yeah, I see your point.
And think about it. I'm gonna say this. Can I go black pill for a minute?
Go for it.
It's your show. Don't let us stop you, man.
This is the reason why my look on black women is what it is today. Black women are the equivalent of Peter Griffin at the blackjack table. And that little cutscene they had hit me. 19. Hit me. 20. Peter, you might need to stop. Hit me. 21.
21.
Hit me.
You won.
Hit me.
Hey, dude, you won. What are you doing?
That's how I look at black women. When a black woman comes to me and they tell me, I'm trying to buy a house. Hello, I'm a veteran. If you marry me, those benefits go to you too and our kids.
Like I just said, hit me. 20.
I could have, not saying do illegal shit, even though it's not illegal because If you get married, it's technically legal. Do you know how many women with multiple kids could have married me and I could have put their kids down as my dependents? How much my VA and my BA benefits would go up?
They didn't think
Easily.
about any of that.
No, because not one. How most women do not have that. Whatchamacallit, that foresight. They're always
No,
thinking about.
you know, it was, you know, it is. It's that,
But
that they felt that you would have some form of control over.
Control.
That's
Mhm.
what
that too.
That's all they
Yep.
want.
Yep.
Is control.
And that's why when one chick told me she moved the guy into her house when she bought it, put his name as a I forget what they call it when you put their names on a credit card, the
Co-signer.
Co-signer.
co-signer, or they co-signed the car for him, did all that shit. And by the time I laughed because I said, you know what I don't like about women? She's like, what's that? By the time I meet you, you're not doing any of this shit for me. But I told her quick, I will never pay for anything a lesser nigga than me got for free. I will say it again. I will never pay what a lesser man got for free.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Mm-mm-mm.
And I'm sorry.
Mm-mm-mm.
Man,
This
don't be
is-
sorry. Say it louder.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. Does that make sense, folks?
How do you be? If it does, don't be shameful. Don't be ashamed for it. Don't need to apologize.
It doesn't make sense because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If it hurts your feelings, grow up.
like let's go for a coffee day. Coffee day, you think I'm cheap? Oh, so
You know, I went to dates. Meet me at the cigar lounge. I'm getting wings. Yeah. Meet me at the Harbor. I'm getting
hold
some
on.
wings.
So you want to go to McDonald's? Is that your usual standard? You know, you want a fillet of fish and a frosty?
Y'all want to hear? Y'all want to hear something? Y'all want to hear something funny? Talking
Good
about
Lord.
with women talking about with black women talking about where they prefer to go. I was in Gary, and I had a friend call me because he wanted to work with me. He wanted to call games with me, and I said, "Sure, meet me at Cracker Barrel in 45 minutes." I went, met him at Cracker Barrel, paid for his meal with no problem. 30 seconds after the meal ended, and I had signed him, and I gave him his first assignment. Black woman that I wanted to see, but my spider senses told me different, called. Didn't get a hi, didn't get a how are you. I got this question: when are you taking me out for dinner?
Joe said,
Excuse the b hell out of me. She says, "You heard me. When are you taking me out for dinner?"
When you pay for it.
She would have heard a call down tone.
I said,
That's the answer right there.
"Hell, that's kind of what I did." And I said, "I have a question for you." She says, "What's that?" I said, "Have you met my friend DT?" She says, "Who's that?" And I hung up. Well, you're not gonna talk to me like that, especially given the fact that you, same bitch, interrupted a broadcast of mine that I was doing live. By trying to cause drama. And that's all they do. They try to cause drama.
But
Really?
you know why
Wait
they
a minute.
cause drama. They want you to notice them. She
Let
wanted
me-
you trying to get you.
Let me say this. Let me piggyback on what Charles has said throughout the course of the show. We're living in a patriarchy.
Now that's bullshit.
That's why I challenged the patriarchal idea of that. A patriarch could say, "Bitch, I'm picking you up at 6. Be ready."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what?
I had a chick tell me, I never had a dude tell me, "Be ready at 6. I'm picking you up.
Right.
We're going out to Bar Louie's. We're getting some drinks and some food. And we're
I
gonna."
miss Barlow. I miss
And you know what
Barlow.
she told me? And this is a cop, a Baltimore cop.
What she
I
tell you?
never had a man plan a date and tell me so assertively that what time he's gonna pick me up. Usually I'm the one doing the planning. What type of niggas do? And this is a person with a master's degree as a cop. What type of low level? I'm like, oh my god.
Can I drop a theory?
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, please.
Theory. because, and this is political, and I'm surprised nobody's catching this. But you see how Trump is trying to kill baby mama culture.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make women think twice about the choices that they make. Like right
Among
now,
white folks in
you
particular.
know, they gave you 2 years on Section 8. All right, if you're able-bodied, if you're elderly or disabled, mentally or physically, you're good. I was saying that they're also going to make some changes to welfare. Now, remember, there were a couple of Republicans who didn't vote on the bill, the big beautiful bill, because they wanted more cuts. Believe it or not, they wanted more cuts, and I'm telling you, where them cuts more than likely came from them wanting to make cuts to welfare, because
Mm-hmm.
you have many able-bodied people as well as illegals that are on welfare. You know what I'm saying? And you know, nobody should like that shit. Nobody
Right.
should like that shit except for you know, women who are either in desperate situations or they're just lazy. They're the only two that like that shit. I think they're gonna wait till after the primaries to make that move, because
Yeah, I think so.
they did vote on the bill late at night. They voted to pass the bill with cuts to be written in later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like we gonna put like, look, this is what we trying to do, but we gonna wait. If we do it now, then we'll lose seats in the primaries. That's why he's
Yeah.
trying to get the illegals out. You understand? That's why he's trying to get
Mm-hmm.
the illegals out, and
Mm-hmm.
that's also why I don't know why people think that this man is playing with them. When you tried first, you tried to bankrupt him, you tried to jail him, then you tried to kill him. He is not playing with you. They gonna press full charges, and
But
the part about it is that these Democratic leaders, they're setting themselves up. They're setting themselves up to be arrested by doing stupid stuff just on the illegals issue. Then
mm-hmm.
now, do understand they're already setting the groundwork for what's
Oh
going
yeah.
on with how they're
Oh
going
yeah.
to start pressing charges on these Democrats who stole all that money
Yep.
through USAID and all them other shell companies, because they already know who did it. Elon already told us. Yeah, like you'd be surprised how many members of Congress got tens of millions of dollars in their bank account. And it's like he was letting you know, yeah, we know how they got that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So at any rate, the strategy is going to be to get Democrats out the way. If we
Yep.
don't lose,
Far out of the way.
right? If it looks like you're not going to be winning in the, if it looks like you're gonna be winning in the primaries, we'll just start jailing you fucks.
Yep.
You
And
know,
quickly.
you see what they're doing with the McIver chick or whatever. They told
Mm-hmm.
her just confess to doing it and step down, or else we'll press full charges on you. And she trying to act like she wasn't throwing bows.
Mm.
You know, they gonna make an example
And,
out of
and Bay, you've been talking about this for a couple of years now, and now it's coming to fruition, and people are trying to look the other way, going. Let me be more specific, and I'm not the biggest political buff, but I recognize this point. As I said, Bay was talking about it. Listen, Bay was talking about this shit, and now that it's happening, the Democrats are trying to look the other way and think, "Oh, nothing's happening to us." Bullshit.
The thing is, okay, let me set it aside because I'm getting in a tangent. But the thing is that once they win the primaries, that's when they're going to amend that big beautiful bill with more cuts, and those more cuts are going to
Yep.
be welfare. If you
Yep.
are able-bodied, you can forget it. If you're an illegal, you can forget it. That
Mhm.
way, the elderly and the sick, they get more benefits. They get more cuts. Now they're not going to totally cut you off. They might do it like they doing with Section 8, give you a 2-year grace window.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
But
babe, would you say with that when you talked about it on an earlier stream, if you can't find anything in 2 years, that's a you problem.
yeah, that's a you problem. But I would
I'm
say
gonna say this. Hold your thought real quick, babe.
Go ahead.
And I gotta say this for the smart ass people who wanted to talk about my VA disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say very quickly? VA what? Disability benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's not getting touched?
Military
Veterans.
benefits.
Military.
Because I'm considered 50% what?
Disabled.
So
You're
go ahead.
100%.
You got to understand something. Here's the difference.
Mm-hmm.
When you serve your country and you don't come back the way you mentally or physically the way you were, the country's in debt to you. Correct?
True.
Yeah.
Yes. Happened to my
So
dad.
who's the one person you don't want to get pissed off about their money? Trained combat veterans.
A veteran. Yep. A veteran.
You'll have to spook who
Because
said
it happened.
before,
It briefly happened to my dad, but it got
So
settled. It got settled real quick.
so here's the difference. Welfare is not the same as VA disability.
No.
Okay? Totally different.
you get that from
Now let's talk about this, kids. A lot of you motherfuckers out there need to realize this. When you have all these people, and I really do mean all these people, who incredibly are able bodied who gets to work. Because some things you put in your chart, some jobs won't take you.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really fucked up about that is all you service job bitches gotta go. See, my plumbers, my
Oh.
electricians, my STEM guys, my
Mm-hmm.
computer analysts, all the people, my police officers, my firefighters, my military personnel,
Yep.
the correctional officers, not the ones who released them.
Mm-hmm.
All the quintessential jobs that make this country go afloat, y'all good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty essential.
Even my friend, when
Indeed.
she said the severance package, she
black
said the
job.
next time the severance package get out there, she said, I'm gonna take that and get another job. She says, you're a damn fool if the government says, okay, we're gonna give you the severance pay. It's
Right.
probably a damn good severance pay because
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna pay you out because they want to make sure you can stay afloat.
Yep.
You know
If
how
you dumb,
39,000 whatever black women lost their jobs.
but they don't tell you where.
Those were government workers. A lot of those women were government workers. And
And no, non-essential jobs.
yeah, and I was saying, I was like, hey, once I found out Doge was firing people or whatever, and they was giving them a 7-month severance package, I'm going to my manager and I'm like, hey, look, we need that severance package if they ever come knocking on this door. You know what I'm
Because
saying? Be
number
fired.
one, a lot of those severance packages were early retirements too.
That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. That's fine. If you across the board it, then across the board it. You know what I'm saying? Look out for me at least.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Hey.
make a living. I'm not in charge of the department. I didn't create the department.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
We didn't start the fire because the
Right.
world was burning. It was always turned.
Shit. In
Oh.
fact, he should now that they saving his money, he should, like, hey, you know what? We're gonna take care of. I would do that. I'd be like, you know what? Because we understand times are tight right now. We're gonna issue a 7-month severance package across the board.
We're
Mhm.
gonna give you 6 months severance, and we're gonna retire you.
A terminated salary, for the government workers we fired. Because, right now what we're trying to implement with this gold card stuff is not fully up and running. So this should hold them over till jobs are available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave y'all with a positive thought. Then I'm gonna get some downtime before the Coliseum tonight. 3 years ago, I was on my deathbed because I was diagnosed with, and y'all know everything I went through, especially with pancreatic cancer. I'm still here and I'm still alive and I'm still kicking. And now I'm using it. I made this announcement last Saturday. I'll make it here. Now I'm using my story to create not only Diary of a Mad Snowman, but to assist men, no matter what they've been through, to reclaim their space in life as a men's mental health coach. I feel I got something to offer in that, and I'm using the best teacher experience.
Wait. You feel or you think?
I know. How's that?
Exactly. Even better. AL will give you right at saying,
I know AO. Listen, I know AO will give me shit for it, and I don't mind him giving me shit for it because y'all give me shit too, and we all laugh about it. But on a real standpoint, I know I have something to give back. And again, to Dr. Faulkner, I found that conversation that you, I, and Matt Granahan had that was only supposed to be 20 minutes, but wound up being 3.5 hours. I didn't post it on any public platform yet. I want to post it. I'm going to post it on my Patreon. So if any men want to know and hear about 3 men and all the hell they went through, and a shout to Angry Black Man being in the house with us this evening, sign up for my Patreon, patreon.com/snowman multimedia, because I can give it away free. But in all honesty, how many times would it get intercepted? Think about it.
Too goddamn many.
What'd you say, Charles?
Too goddamn many times.
There you go. There you go. In fact, you and Matt told me not to repost it after the one time I did when I ran it on my radio show. Uncensored and unedited, mind you. I haven't. And I'm not going to.
And yes, because it's your intellectual property.
Yep.
I am a capitalist at heart. Get paid for your intellectual property. I'm telling you, shout out to guys like Bay. There's many times I never mentioned it that he cash at me something for being on his show. Shout out to Electrician 3, 480. Shout out to other people. Shout out to all these people who supported Angry Black Man. I don't give it. I remember when I was averaging 150 to 200 live show, and I got shadow banned. Guess what? My A1 day ones always came through.
Hey,
not
we
just for
got you,
donations, but not just for donations. AL, Namer, and others. Not just for donations, but also support and coming on panels. There's times that people say you got to be more consistent. Life be life, man. But here's the point: when I talk about something, it sticks like grits in your guts in the morning. And the fact of the matter that if Black Man can't find a spot to reprieve, what good are we?
I'm going to make a pre-recorded chapter about that question right there to piggyback off. And I'm redoing the book, Diary of a Mad Snowman. And I'm taking your suggestion, Charles, and starting with how Donna came to be, my fight for her, and how Jody came to be. They're going to lead things off. What I'm also going to include is that question right there from my lens. Because you posed a question to me that I put on early in the book. Can Black men ever have a bad day? Now I'm going to couple it with, can Black men ever get ever have a reprieve? Because God damn it, the real ones need it bad. We push and we grind all the time, and yet still are on the lowest rung of society for some bullshit reasons. So I'm going to record that chapter and I'm going to let loose.
Woo, damn right, Snowman. And we are joined by ABM and Electrician 480. How you fellas doing?
All right, what's going on, Charles? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I still got a job.
Hey, ABM,
in the house.
ABM, I feel you. Okay,
I'm great. Hey, listen, the blue collar man hey, listen, they talk shit about the blue collar man.
Yeah, they do.
They said we were irrelevant. Nah, they want status, and
That's all they want.
why you niggas ain't? Why you don't got an Amazon, niggas? Why you ain't Elon Musk and Starlink? Oh, okay, great.
Right.
But you know what? I got a fucking job.
Hey,
But guess
man,
what?
let me tell you
There is a
something.
status that a lot of them got. It's called unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
ABM, I gotta share a very funny story with you. Jody and I and my daughter Sonia all worked at Amazon down in Durham, North Carolina. But it started to get to us. Then my wife injured her Achilles, and then Sonia found a work at home job. So Jody said, "Can you cover us for a little bit while we get everything together and we try to find you a way where you can work from home doing your show?" Baby, I got you. You ain't got to tell me nothing twice. So I went. I kept going every day. You know how many weird looks I was getting because Jody wasn't there with me, and all the fucked up comments I would get. And forgive the vulgarity of my next sentence, but I've got to say it the realest way I know how. One black bitch came up to me and said, "So, where's your white bitch now?" And I nearly kicked her in the fucking throat.
God damn. Oh, that's right. You out there in Indiana, right?
Well, at the time we were in North Carolina.
Oh, I don't see.
See, but that's Snowman. See, do you see the hate, the vitriol
Yes!
you get now?
D-
Do you see that?
To
And you
paint
wonder-
a
and
paint
then
a picture. Excuse me, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but to paint a
go for
picture of, for all you who don't know Durham, North Carolina, I used to live in North Carolina. I lived there for 4 years. The one and only time I was robbed in my life was in Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It was right
Damn,
across the
not
street.
even Baltimore. God damn.
Bro, I've never been robbed in Baltimore. I was robbed once. It was Durham, North Carolina, 1997. Snowman knows where the mall is.
Oh fuck!
There used to be a McDonald's directly across the street from the mall.
Yes, sir.
Two dudes ran into McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
and stuck up the joint.
God damn.
So I totally believe what he's saying because that's Durham, North Carolina.
Hey, robbed the McDonald's.
When we got started,
I clearly remember I remember sitting. It was me and my buddies. We was in the back.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the two dudes run past the window. They both had pistols.
Oh yeah.
And before I could even react, they was already inside. Get on the floor.
When Jody Dad would make that drive because she used to donate, we both used to donate plasma. Then I got sick and then we stopped for a while. We went down to Durham. Brother, when I tell you, whenever Jody would pull up at the plasma driving place, ... and she was driving, I don't need to complete the rest of that sentence.
That's what I'm saying.
North Carolina is a lovely state, but Durham probably is the worst city.
Man, listen, y'all want to know why I got so much hate in North Carolina? And that was my second time living in North Carolina. I'd gotten a job offer to go down there. So on a whim, after Jody and I got married in 2019, we packed up and moved. And for some of you tuning in for doggone it, I don't have my camera on. Let me put this camera on here. For those of you tuning in for the first time and don't know what I'm talking about as to why I got a lot of strange looks, let that answer your question. This is my beautiful wife of almost 6 years. We basically do everything together. We hang out, we make each other laugh. We had a small crew, ABM. We had a small crew down at Amazon in Durham. The jealousy of the gynocracy is very real.
You know,
I don't need to tell y'all the rest of that.
You know who police black men's dicks?
Black women.
Yeah.
Because they were all talking shit to me and then going behind my back and telling my wife I was flirting with somebody else.
Like
with
who?
a woman who I considered my daughter.
I'd be like, who? Like, get out of here. Oh,
you know what Jody would do? Dr. K would just look at him and laugh and go, okay. And then the young lady who I was supposedly flirting with, we accepted basically as our daughter.
So because you two would be seen having conversations together that were
Yep.
friendly, people
Yep.
made a big deal out of it.
You got the puzzle. You
Not
got
even
the puzzle.
knowing what the hell is really going on.
Mm-hmm.
They just assume it.
They look back to ABM, who's
Well, that's
lived in
$2
Durham, North Carolina, and knows the attitude of Durham, North Carolina. You want to talk about assumptions being made all the time? If Jody came in there without me while we were working there, we worked there a good 6-7 months. If Jody came in there without me because like I was sick or something, dead silence. If the reverse happened, I'd have all kinds of people approaching me. The people in our crew, they would come up, is Jody okay? Yeah, she's fine. She's just not feeling well. She's at home. How is Sonia? Sonia's cool. She's just at home too, but she's also transitioning into another job. I'm going to say something very vulgar, but I'm going to say it anyway, and I don't think Charles Faulkner would mind. The niggas that approached me when I wasn't there with my wife and daughter, and the questions they would ask me were absolutely atrocious.
How fucking atrocious we talking here?
How atrocious are we talking?
Mm.
My next 4 words are the gynocracy is real.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh yeah, it's
atrocious.
real. It's real.
And this is from, and then we talking about dudes here. We talking
Electrician,
about dudes
you've heard me say it so many times on these streams with you guys. It is very real.
It's wherever you go.
Yes, it
Oh, it's
is.
real, but
You can't go to the
it's wherever you
south
go.
and expect anything different. You can't go out west and expect anything different.
Nope.
You can't go up north. You can't go to the Midwest. It's the same shit.
It is. It is.
But I'm gonna let you guys know on a little secret. Babe, he kind of alluded to it for a little bit when he was talking about they wanted to cut the welfare, which they did. They really wanted to get rid of the welfare. That's what they was really hard nosed on. But what's really gonna happen now though is there's a law that is being implemented right now by the DOJ, and it's called False Claims Act, FCA, False Claims Act. It's an act that was back from 1863 during the Civil War, where companies were defrauding the government. Now, what's happening is that all, with the gynocracy, particularly with the educational arm of it, they about to get their head cracked. They about to get their head cracked wide.
Head cracking.
Man, listen, bro. Put it like this. So like the bad research, the papers, all the bad things they've been saying about brothers and everything.
Yep.
Well, if you took federal government money for research, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they find that you have been biased on it or been misleading information,
it's trouble.
The university is going to become, it's the university.
They coming after
the
your
university is going to get hit. Yeah, they're going to get hit with the False Claim Act, saying that, okay.
And they're going to get hit. They're also going to get hit with a little word beginning with an A we like to call an audit.
Yep, pretty much.
Because I know Harvard is making itself the freaking case study.
Yes, they is. Yep.
Indeed, they
And
are.
by the way, keep those thoughts. God damn, my man Electrician 480 hit me off again with something fierce. Man, you get all of these motherfuckers. God damn.
He got me.
By the power of Grayskull.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus
Thundercats!
Damn, that shit looks pretty in 4K.
Let me-
And last but not
hit-
least,
Go get him. I got
thank you
one
once
for-
again for your undying and unrelenting support.
I got a
No
couple
problem,
for
bro.
I got a
No
couple
problem,
for
brother.
electrician myself. I dropped a note to electrician in the chat, and all he said was, "I got you." So I'll give you this one.
Michael on the drive across the lane. Turnaround shot. Got it. 63 for Jordan.
And I'll give you this one.
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
Man, I can't thank not just Electrician 480 or AB. I can't thank all of you brothers enough for being there for me and with me before, during, and proudly I can say after cancer and all my health problems. I can't thank y'all enough. I appreciate you guys, and I mean it. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. And it's like I've said before, what's the one thing I always said? We are what? All we got.
All we got.
We're all
That's
we
it.
got.
We are all we got. And that's proven. You know, I'm so touched that people donate, listen, support, share anything that comes out of my crazy ass mouth.
Hey,
And
I get it, man. It's at a point for me. It's a point now where even today, when I did the Indiana Fever game, I can't believe I'm looking at this number, but I had 3,300 views today.
Wow,
that's one of the most incredible
man,
numbers I've got on my channel.
Man, you need to keep you, man. Shit, you got shit. Caitlin Clark giving you 40 acres and a white bitch.
Motherfucking right, she is.
She giving you. Boy, you better ride. You better ride Caitlin Clark like you got to guard that bitch.
I'm riding this motherfucker till the hooves fall off.
Okay, man, you striking gold with that one.
Why are the Fever promoting the two other blonde white chicks?
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall.
Yeah, they're now
they're
promoting them too, but they can actually play just as well. Those girls are balling.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
And see, here's the secret. What's up, AB? Here's the secret that people don't figure this out. Black women have dominated, women's basketball.
Yep.
What happens when a white chick or any other chick comes in and studies the game? Remember,
happens.
Remember when Lisa Leslie couldn't bring your game up,
right?
And all you had to do was keep practicing. What a Hall of Fame basketball player. Two of the greatest female basketball players I've ever seen was Cheryl Miller and what's the other kid? And what's the chick who played with her in college?
Cynthia Cooper.
Oh,
and Cynthia Cooper. I've yet to see any female equal them.
I'll go along with that. And I've watched women's basketball for 40 plus years and covered it for 20 plus. This is what I see with Caitlin Clark is the second coming, but they're putting her through some bullshit, especially after what I saw today. I'll do a pre-record on that tomorrow.
You need to ride, and then you put the hashtags in it too.
Oh yeah,
Boy, you ride that, and you know what you should do. I'm going to give you another hint.
Talk to me.
Your pre-recorded when you're doing it should be dun 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 dun. News around the W.
Get out of my head, because I was thinking about that earlier tonight. And
And
I'm
you
gonna-
should do it quickly because somebody else is going to coin it. Who say brothers don't help brothers out? You know what I'm saying, fellas?
Exactly. All right, I gotta save one round of that Gynocracy is real for AB Media's Coliseum tonight, but we'll do one round here really quick because I don't think ABM and Electrician have heard this. There's a game that we play every Saturday night, and Charles comes up with some of the best answers. Here's a situation, and I'll go back to Durham, North Carolina. I had just been diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to ride with Jody down to Durham from Henderson, just a company while she donates plasma, right? So I helped check her in. I went back to the car. I sat for a little bit, turned the air on, and I was just about to sleep when all the hairs on my neck stood up. Why? Because Jody was coming back out to get something and the Gynocracy walked by. Now, y'all know the question when Jody climbed in the car with me for a couple of minutes because they had a long line at the shop. What do you think the Gynocracy was thinking?
He must have just came out of jail.
Here we go.
He can only
Oh,
get
he-
himself a little big back.
Oh, he must be Rent-A-Dick.
Oh, she likes some extra large.
You foul as fuck for that, Charles, but you're telling the truth also.
No, that was me last time. That was me.
Wait a minute. You foul as fuck for that, Charles, but you're telling the truth about it also. That's why I'm laughing.
You know he's with her because you got good credit.
Oh, he must be one
He
of
must be
them
running from
educated
child
brothers.
support.
What'd you say, Electrician?
Oh,
What'd
he
you-
must be
what'd you
one
say,
of them
Electrician?
educated. He must be one of them educated brothers.
Well, he is.
Great
He went to
one.
college, didn't he?
I
He
did.
graduated.
I did.
That nigga probably hate the streets because they black.
And he's from the South Side.
You ain't shit for that. No, love it.
Never claimed to be with this.
Hold on. I got one for you.
Go.
He probably hate his mama.
Oh God.
His mama black.
Exactly.
He always talking about milk and how much he loved milk and the color of his wife's skin.
He probably greets his woman with my milk of magnesia.
He like mayonnaise.
What's wrong with that?
He probably hates rainy days because the sky's black.
You know his favorite sports are extreme snowboarding. He loves to play in the snow.
He probably
Why I have so much fun with this because I can share stories for days.
I ain't got no black men on my arm.
That was what Jody said. That's what
Oh
most
my
black women say.
goodness. Matter of fact, I got a good one.
Go.
He probably watches 12 years of slave in reverse so he could always have a happy ending.
Oh wow.
Electrician's got one cooking. I know he does.
No, I'm sitting there laughing my ass off.
She's only with him because
Electrician. Hold on a sec. Electrician, I'll say it again, my brother. You wonder why we love doing this shit.
He probably can't even fry chicken. She probably can't even fry chicken right.
Oh, you want a funny story?
I bet you she got raisins everywhere in her food.
Oh, here you go. One night she did. Jody did fried chicken for me one night. Couple nights before my birthday. Ate that some bitch before it hit the freezer.
Man, I bet you she had a black grandmother somewhere in the cupboard.
I'm not complaining. Because all Jody said to me, the first time Jody ever cooked for me, Jody said, Just tell me what you think of my food. And she came in a few minutes later. First time she ever cooked for me. She says, you haven't said anything. I looked at her with both cheeks full and I go, baby, it's rude for me to talk with my mouth full.
Mhm.
Right, there you go.
And Jody was cracking up.
Well,
And
yeah.
later she goes, I take it you like my cooking. I said, don't you stop cooking for me, honey.
There
Mhm.
you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. That's cool.
Because, hey, Jody and I are people, okay?
You know
Jody-
she's with him. Wait, hold on. You know
Go,
she's with
go,
him
go.
because.
Go
Let me
for it.
stop. Okay. You
No,
know
go
she's
ahead.
with him for 3 letters. It's not BBC. It's PhD.
You know he with her for 3 letters. ATM.
Mhm.
Oh, we are
Hey,
raunchy over here. If
let
you
me tell
motherfuckers in the chat not
electrician
laughing,
this
we
story.
raunchy.
Let me tell electrician this
Is that his
story.
parole officer?
Yeah, that's the running one.
Let me tell
You know,
electrician
the
this,
only reason
this
she in the
story.
car with him so he doesn't get pulled over.
Mm-hmm. And someone actually, let me tell electrician this story. I don't think the
Okay.
brother knows this story. We went to Cookout one afternoon in Raleigh because she was working in Raleigh. I was doing my show in Durham. I went and picked her up. I drove to Raleigh to pick her up. We go to Cookout. We heard the voice on the public address to take our order. I looked at Jody and she looked at me and she says, baby, get your card out right now. And when I tell you, electrician, when we pulled up and we saw the talons come out of the window
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
to take my card,
To
even
take my
Jody looked at
card?
me. Even Jody looked at me and went, "Oh shit!" And electrician, my brother, the talons came out and the weave was down to her ass.
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yep,
And
that sound about right.
we wondered why her neck was leaning forward all the time. It was heavy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Must have been that
I don't
overweight
know.
Indian type.
I don't know how they're gonna afford it. I don't know how they're gonna afford it now.
What?
They can't afford it now.
I bet you she got a life supply of Jerry Curl juice.
You know she's with him
You
because
know
she's
what,
a
Charles?
chocoholic.
That's a great answer considering I'm fucking bald. Okay.
You know niggas a bitch. You know, one day you should wear a
I
Jerry
know.
Curl wig just for that
I
shit.
know. They have it just because. I know that.
You know?
I know that. I had a black woman offer me that even though she saw after I pulled off my hat that I'm fucking bald. As
You know,
Kevin
my-
would say,
my favorite-
with that one, as Kevin says best,
You know, my best comeback when people talk about my bald head. I tell a nigga one time, I said, how the fuck I'm bald and I got a better shape up than you?
mm-hmm.
Ooh. And
Yep.
a better beard game.
Yep.
Everybody jealous
I
of
don't
my
have
beard.
Look, I don't have a beard. I
Dude,
don't have
you
a
like-
beard
you-
game, but I got a Fu Manchu. That's a killer, and what my wife enjoys. So I'm cool.
There you
I
go.
bet you.
That's all that matters.
I
Charles-
got the mustache and the goatee. I shave it off and it grows back in a couple of days if it really gets out of control. And now my wife's like helping me keep that going.
Mhm.
But man,
Oh, I got
when
another
tell
one.
you
This
all
ain't a
the
minute.
hypocrisy
I bet
was
you.
so real when we were living in North Carolina. I got hundreds of these stories.
I bet you he played football in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, y'all. I'm from Chicago, Wisconsin, y'all.
Could have been worse. He could have said
Wait a
Indianapolis.
minute, Charles didn't even have the decency to guess either Illinois or Northwestern.
You know?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I bet you he played football there.
Wisconsin. You
I bet you he's a former college athlete.
What you're missing there is that's like a sexual fantasy, because then what they're saying is that you're one of those corn-fed black dudes.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
every time you see him, he's six. People forget that he's like that snowman 6'5", and every time they see him, be like, "Sure, boss." I bet you they have. I bet you they have. I bet you they have antebellum fantasies.
Oh my God. Oh, you mean how they dress up as slaves with the Klan members? Oh, let me shut. Ooh, that out loud.
Say it louder.
Hold on.
Say, AV, say it louder.
Off the bed. Pick that kind of boy. Hitting them with a sex whip.
I bet you she calls him Mandingo.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God, this is too funny.
I'm gonna have a better one tonight in the Coliseum. I'm gonna have a couple better ones tonight in the Coliseum, man.
Oh man. I remember just hugging. I remember this one chick saw me hugging a white girl that I knew from work. And she's like, ugh, the only reason you probably with her because she had no gag reflex. I'm like, this is my coworker. I literally saw her kids and my kids are the same age. Like, we're just happy with kids and being adults now. When you're just saying, I'm like, I don't even date white women. There's no hate towards it. It's just not me. I'm like,
Why would you think so lowly of her?
and it was like, why would you think that? Why can't she be an upstanding person? I was like, motherfucker.
Exactly.
And of course, any female that works with me, and I'm close to them, they know how to do dirty jokes too. They were like,
you ain't gonna.
Oh my God. You know what she said? She says, look, when we were in the department together, he didn't need a gun belt to hold up his gun.
I tell you what's funny. The first time I lived in North Carolina, 1995, I was being interviewed for a job, and a white woman had to bring me back to the office. When I knew that job was going to be fun was when she looked me straight in the eye and she says, "You ever been around the corner with a white woman before?" And bust out laughing.
Oh my God.
We were sitting in that car laughing for a half hour.
They look like ebony and ivory.
You're motherfucking right, damn it.
Oh my God.
Oh, y'all
And you want to talk about that? I've had some ridiculous ass jokes once.
I bet you the only thing she could cook is veal.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Hey, look, Jody has made veal, and we ate that shit up the same night.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know,
Jody-
and you know, I've actually heard that shit. And this is how you know there's a difference in class. I was like, I looked at that chick and I said, bitch, you know how much veal costs?
Exactly.
That ain't no cheap
Jody
shit.
has cooked me veal. She's fried chicken for me. She's made swordfish for me. Hey, that shit ain't cheap, okay?
Damn, swordfish. She got a dot.
We went to Wilmington the day we got the swordfish. We were a couple months in living in Carolina. We just wanted to get out for a while. So Jody says, let's find somewhere to go get some fresh fish because we hadn't had any yet. I said, all right. So we drove down to Wilmington, found a fish market, small time fish market, but had a shitload of people out the door. We get some swordfish, get some vegetables. She comes home, cooks all that up. And when I tell you we destroyed it in 20 minutes after we cooked it, we destroyed that shit in 20 minutes.
Good God. I remember, goddamn.
It was great. She made it so good, man. It was broiled, and she put some seasoning on it, then coupled it with a little grape tomatoes, had some vegetables, and we had a little bit of garlic bread, and we had some wild rice with it. She cooked that shit.
What, you guys could get the tamed one?
I bet you she's his designated driver.
Give me this shit.
Given she's 5'3", that's very cold of you, Charles.
I mean,
wait.
there's a reason why we have.
I got one.
There's a reason why we have telephone books and pillows.
Yeah, that's it. Brian?
Yes,
No,
sir.
man. You're going to hate me for this, but then again, you have to understand, this is the reason why I'm BGS's problem child.
Oh, bring it on.
And he can never be mad at me. You know, He's just looking at it. So basically, this is his 40 acres. This motherfucker got 40 acres and a white woman.
Great googly moogly.
And I'm not complaining one bit.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
It's
not
funny.
complaining one
And
damn bit.
notice and notice the whole time, you've not once since Snowman been around talk about interracial dating and men should do it.
Right.
But he's
Right.
happy with his situation. Notice that.
Right.
Because he knows it, because it's every person, it's everyone's situation is different, you know. We all
Yeah.
have
And notice the one thing I truly respect about him. He never had to put black women down for the sake of his wife. And he never had to put anybody down, and he never of course he's gonna put his wife on a pedestal because that's his wife, duh. But he's never had to put anybody down for the sake of his wife. She just so happens to be white. But guess what? Here's my question. If Jody was black, he would feel the same goddamn thing.
Exactly.
He's not what you would call a male divester.
It's not
Jody
race.
just
It's not
is
about
the Jody just is the one that makes me absolutely deliriously happy.
Yeah.
I mean, she should.
From the first day I met her. And here's how I met Jody for the first time. September of 2018, I had to do a game in Chesterton, Indiana, because the night before the game got rained out and postponed. Michigan City, it was Michigan City and Chesterton. Climbed up to the booth. We got started. The game resumed, and I was at a timeout. And I looked at my phone and I looked at her number and I said, you know what? I'm going to call her. Just when we got back from a break, I put the phone in my ear and she greeted me. I was in the midst of a play-by-play sequence and I heard her giggle in my ear and I was a goner. That sweet little giggle. And I flipped. I was a goner. That's what I appreciate so much about her. If it was a black woman and who showed me the same amount of respect and the amount of love and the amount of support, I don't care. As long as you respect me and love me the way that I love you, which Jody has done for the past 7 years, I got no issue.
I bet you he's a Barry Manilow fan.
You ain't shit for that, man. But
I bet you I wasn't expecting that would work.
No, I wasn't.
Somebody almost coughed up their drink.
Wait a minute. Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond. I can think of a couple of others.
Oh, shit.
Just
I
don't
mean,
sing Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
We were
Sweet
Caroline. We were
what's the whitest song ever? It's either Sweet Caroline or is it Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Both. It's a tie. And I'll tell you why it's a tie. When we were driving back down to North Carolina after we came up here to visit her parents. First two songs that came on Sirius on the station she found, rolled down the windows, rolled back the sunroof, and blasted them. Blasted both of them.
You know, me and my boy can't get enough about Don't Stop Believing because thank you, Family Guy. We went to a damn casino and all you heard was just a small town girl. I'm like, and we just started singing a song. Oh, one of my guilty pleasure songs, Joe Jackson. Stepping Out. Stepping Out. Thank you, Grand Theft Auto 5.
There's a baseball reason why Don't Stop Believing got me. That was the song the White Sox rocked to when they won the World Series in 2005. And my dad and I were singing it the day of the parade.
See, he's a fan of the White Sox. Why can't they be black?
The only thing white about Chicago is the Cubs.
You know what? I ain't gonna trip about that because he's right.
I remember, first of all, you know
just
what?
a minute. It's such a stark difference between how people support the White Sox and how people support the Cubs, and you know the town is divided.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you who explained that to me. Snowman, LAR movement, because he talked about being a White Sox fan. He talked about how the racial divide within Chicago, and a lot of black folks decided, you know what, how much they hate, just understanding how much the racial divide is in the city, and understanding, Chicago, the Cubs is mostly a white team. They're like, you know what, fuck it, we're supporting the Sox.
Yep. And New
Sox-
Comiskey Park is right in the hood, off 35th and
Southside
Shield.
Chicago. Southside
Yep.
Chicago.
New Comiskey Park is right on the south side.
You know, you got a
That's
good sports team if all your fucking sports teams are in the hood.
Yep. The United Center, well, the West Side was the hood till they cleaned it up. United Center was in the West Hood. U.S. Cellular Field is in the hood. The only place that's not is Soldier Field. It's right downtown.
It's funny because
What'd you say, electrician?
No, yeah, you're right. Soldier Field is downtown Chicago.
Yeah,
downtown
Soldier
Chicago.
Field is right in the museum district. Oh, let me give y'all this one too. Then I'm really gonna get out of here because I think Jody's gonna head to bed here in a while. Let me give y'all this one, and I know electrician's gonna get a kick out of this. 2 years ago, we had I got a chance to broadcast a football game from Soldier Field, the Chicago Football Classic, 25th anniversary. Got everything settled. We got up to the booth. Rolling right along. Didn't notice anything. Didn't notice anybody. Then Jody crept up behind me because at halftime I was purely spent. Because it was like a 90-degree day and we had to wait a while to get in the booth. When Jody started giving me a shoulder rub, there were some eyes on me. I don't think I need to complete the picture.
If looks could kill. If looks could kill.
If looks
could kill.
If looks could kill,
Man.
I would not have made it out that sumbitch alive.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one of the funniest things that I know Snowman will ever see. I'm gonna post a picture with me and this very special individual, and it was the Ravens Steelers game. You know how hot that game is.
Yes.
One of the best rivalries, not just in football and sports, period.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the parking lot, and she who will not be named she tried to drink with the big dog, even though we weren't together at the time. And she got a little fucked up talking that business. And what made it bad was, oh, you loose lip when you drink? I'm gonna be loose lipping. I'm not even that inebriated yet. Like the last time I checked, you were running up the walls from the dick and the lips. And her friends, I mean, you could have sold them for a penny. Their eyes look like Simpsons characters. And next thing you know, I see out the brush this big motherfucker come over there, like, "Hey, buddy, I like your gear." And he says, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Oh shit, who's this mountain?" And I was like, "We are not worthy." You know who that motherfucker was?
Ray Lewis.
No, the Goose.
Tony Saragusa. I was thinking that. Tony Saragusa.
I mean, I have this picture, and shout out to Samsung for making damn good cameras. Man, I got this picture with the Goose. You can see the baguettes in that fucking Super Bowl ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, that was a big guy, and he lost weight at that time, and you can imagine how he looked when he was playing. Good God, he was a wall.
He had stopped playing, and he was hosting the show, Man Cave, a Man Cave kind of show, and he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, and he was still a big guy.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Like you got to think about.
When the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he did his mission. He wanted to ring. Yep. And you got to look at it. Like I remember meeting at Comic-Con years before he passed, Nikolai Volkov, because a lot of people didn't know he lived in Baltimore County. And he was at Comic-Con.
I would have loved him. I would love to.
Oh, such a nice guy.
That would have been dope.
I would love to have met.
And Nikolai was so cool. But I'm not a small guy. I'm 5'10", 280. Nikolai made me look like a child. Like, people don't realize how big some of these athletes are. These pro wrestlers and athletes. Like, I remember when I took my son. See, my son can't send me to the home because he met a lot of cool people. He met Ray Lewis, Ric Flair, the NWO, and Scott Hall. Scott Hall was so funny, man. And my boy Josh was like, he was at the curtain call, and
Yeah.
Scott Hall was like, it's not like it's one of the biggest events that happened in pro wrestling for the last 25 years. Joking with him, but we were laughing. And Kevin Nash is a legit 7 feet tall dude.
Yep.
Like, you're just like, why did motherfuckers try to come out and thought they could beat you up?
Mm-hmm.
The one guy I want to meet is King Haku.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his stories are infamous.
One time I was bored and I put his real name in K-Search, right?
Oh
no.
And all his shit came up. That motherfucker put 7 cops in the hospital by himself.
Damn. Yeah, I heard about that story. They had to call his wife just to calm him down.
No,
Yeah, because he was in Baltimore.
He was in
What
rage
makes
mode
a month?
Go ahead.
Why do you want to piss off a 6'3", 320-pound Tongan?
Yeah,
No, he's Tongan.
Yeah, he's Tongan.
He's Tongan. And you got to
Wasn't
think.
he known as
Do
King
you know?
Tonga for a while? Haku?
No,
Wasn't he
Yeah,
known as King
He was
Tonga
not-
for
yeah.
a while?
He was known as
Tongan
King
kid.
Tonga, and then what's his name? Sam Fatu, Jacob Fatu's father. He
Mm-hmm.
was known as the Tonga Kid, and then those two got together and they formed a tag team called the Islanders back in the late 80s.
Ah, okay. I thought
And,
so.
and you know what
They
he used to
feuded
do?
with that.
This motherfucker was the bodyguard for the Emperor of Japan for a few years.
Nice.
Was it?
And-
No, wait. Because remember, Tonga, they have a monarchy. And
No,
talks
he
about
he was literally the bodyguard for the Emperor of Japan for years.
Okay.
Like-
Because he did go to Japan for training in sumo.
Sumo and other martial arts.
Yeah.
This motherfucker.
Let me put it.
Go
to you.
ahead.
Let me put it this way: when Mark Calloway says he turned somebody around, and he says, "Oh shit, I just turned somebody around," that's a bad motherfucker. And
Yes.
if you don't know who Mark Calloway is,
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
When he said, I had this guy, and I forget because he was hitting me in the back of my neck and he was chopping me. And he's like, I turned the guy around and he's like, oh shit, it's Haku. It's Haku. And he said, luckily for me, Haku loves me.
Yep.
He said he's the nicest guy ever, but man, don't piss him off.
And it's about family man. Haku becoming.
Did he really bite somebody's ear off?
No, they say he ripped somebody's eye out.
Ugh.
He ripped the guy's ear. He actually bit the bridge of a guy's nose.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had a chance to cover a Bulls game one year. They were playing the Lakers, and there was a little guy on the Lakers at the time by the name of Shaquille O'Neal. I stood next to him. I stood next to him post game, and I felt like a damn gnat.
I bet.
Big old.
So that was six. I was at the time. I was 300 plus pounds. At 6'5". Here's a fellow 7'1", 3 1/4. Whose hands was as big as my head.
I can tell you that anything above 6'8" looks totally different in real life. Case in point, I saw Jermaine O'Neal. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn, it's a tall motherfucker.
Exactly.
I've seen some very, very unique people within pro wrestling and all kinds of people. And for some odd reason, I don't know why everybody think I'm on a pro wrestling circuit, but
you lift enough.
And it's funny because when you see these motherfuckers, and I remember when Bret Hart stared at me, he's like, dude. He said, I thought he didn't even think I was a cop. He was like,
you
"Oh,
guys part of the business, huh?"
And he said the only reason he said I thought you're part of the business at first. I was like, hey, you got any tips? He's like, I would put you on if there was anybody I trusted.
Wow.
And it was so cool. And he's like, dude, man. He was like, dude, if you ever did pro wrestling, and it's like, I think it's a privilege to be black sometimes because you don't look your age. So when young guys be telling me what they do in the gym, and I'll be like, that's what's up. You can keep it going. They were like, what can you do, Falk? And I remember when he had those 30-pound dumbbells. He's like, you can't even do this, Falk. So I grabbed the 30-pound dumbbells in one hand.
Oh boy,
That ain't much to wait.
that ain't
And
much.
I told him, hand me a 10. And start curling it. I said, hey, here you go. And he just looked at me like, yo, that's fucked up.
And like this fucker's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it's like, even in police work, everybody has a legendary story in every profession. I'm pretty sure guys like, Snowman, electrician, and AB cut their teeth, and then people were like, damn, we didn't know y'all were that good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got something for you. Speaking of that, I was down in Lewisburg, North Carolina, and we were playing we were playing a school in baseball in a doubleheader, Spartanburg Methodist to be exact. They were out of South Carolina. I opened my big mouth to a few of the parents that were listening and said I wanted a home run call for Lewisburg. Now, they had only heard my voice. They had not seen me. Most of the parents had not seen me. So there was a kid by the name of Noah Madison who was set to come to the plate. And I said, if anybody was overdue, he was overdue. His mom called out, hit a home run so he can call it. This happened next.
Barber at second, Kalinsky at first. Nobody out. Pitch. Swinging a drive into deep center field. Miller back at the track, looking up. See you later!
Mm-hmm.
You know who are really large people that you would never think? Baseball players.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas was huge.
Frank Thomas was a monster. I met him at Taste of Chicago in '94 on a White Sox off day. Him and Robin Ventura.
Ooh.
Met both of them the same day at Taste of Chicago.
Yeah, Cecil Fielder. He was a big fella too.
Oh man, don't get me started on Cecil Fielder. Don't get me started on Jim Thome either. Jim Thome was something else. Cecil Fielder was something else. Yeah. We already mentioned Frank Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's a motherfucker that he's not allowed, and he jokes about it every time I don't wear the sleeves when I play football. He gets drug tested. I'll give you a hint. He plays for the Browns.
Myles Garrett.
No, yep, yeah.
Myles Garrett, that motherfucker when he's not wearing the sleeves?
Yep.
Looks like something the fucking X-Men created.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Myles Garrett, that's a big boy right there.
That's a big motherfucker. Like you looking at that motherfucker and another motherfucker you would never think is that big.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Derrick Henry.
Oh man.
Derrick Henry will run you over while jogging at 2 miles an hour. I don't want any of that.
He stood next to linebackers and made him look small.
Yep.
Like, hey, that's our new running back. You mean linebacker, right?
Exactly.
Like he's gonna stop the run, not be. No. We got tackled. Who?
He's running through you.
You got to think about it. You a linebacker. You got to stop. He'd be like, yeah, who we playing? Yeah, we're playing the Ravens. No. You're playing the Ravens. I'm calling sick today. Like that. You're playing them. Shit, I'll be on the hamstring. Ooh. And you looking at this motherfucker.
I'm not playing today. I got a little football trivia. Who are the only 3 players in NFL history with a 1,000 season? 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yard receiving. It only happened 3 times. Who did it?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey's one.
Roger Craig and
Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, Marshall.
And
Faulk.
got him all.
Faulk, yep.
Marshall Faulk, Christian McCaffrey, and Roger Craig.
Okay. We gotta test the sportsman's knowledge. Give me all of the guys of the 2K club.
2,000 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Sanders.
Terrell Davis.
Yep.
Barry
Barry- yeah,
Sanders.
O.J. Simpson.
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
Eric Dickerson.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
Eric Dickerson.
O.J.
Eric, you
Simpson,
gonna
who
get
had
that dick?
2003.
Um,
2003
Edwin
yard.
No, man. Oh, man.
Emmitt Smith.
No.
Derrick
No.
Henry. Derrick Henry.
2000.
Derrick Henry.
Damian Tomlinson.
What's the name?
Who plays for the Eagles now?
Saquon Barkley.
Did he get 2000?
Yes,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
past
yeah.
year, 2005. And the last player is Adrian Peterson. No, last two players are Adrian Peterson and Chris Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot about Chris Johnson for the Titans.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, those are some running motherfuckers. Do you know how hard it is to get 2,000 yards in any air?
Not even Eddie
That's
George.
right.
Damn.
That's what happened when you have a good offensive line.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you got
that
what?
want to see you get 2,000 yards.
You got talent.
That want to see you get 2,000 yards in a game.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, run that ball, nigga. That's what they call him. They call that. What's your last name, nigga? Running.
Okay. How about this? Who are the only two players in NFL history to catch 20 in a game?
What?
Who are
20
the
catches in
only
a game.
two NFL receivers in history to catch 20 in a game?
Catch 20 balls in the game?
Catch 20 in a game. Catch 20 in a game. 20 receptions.
Okay.
I just heard one. Terrell Owens is one.
Yeah,
Rice.
Terrell Owens.
Rice and Carter. But Rice?
No.
No. Damn it. What is
We
his
got
name?
one in
The
Terrell
dude from
Owens.
Lions.
Say again.
It was Calvin Johnson.
Megatron.
Wrong.
No?
No.
Damn.
Was it Moss?
No.
It wasn't
Damn.
Flipper. I knew
Jerry
it
Rice?
wasn't Flipper Anderson.
No.
Who was it?
Sterling? No, not
Brandon
Sterling,
Marshall.
sorry. Brandon Marshall.
Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
He caught
that's my
21
dude.
in
That's
a
my
game.
dude right there. That's my dude. Brandon Marshall.
Now, how about this? How many times? No, check that. Check that. Change the question. Name the 6 players with 300 receiving yards in a game.
God damn.
With 300 yards?
300 plus receiving yards in a game.
Well,
It's
I know-
happened 6 times.
I think.
Please tell me.
I think Randy-
Please tell me runs Megatron.
Yes, 329.
Okay.
God
Randy Moss.
damn.
One more time.
Randy Moss.
No.
Okay.
Rice.
No.
Oh, yeah, he never had a 300-yard game. He came close a few
He
times.
came close 4 different
Terrell
times.
Owens.
No.
Marvin Harrison.
Say again.
Marvin Harrison.
No.
Okay.
I
What
think
team was he
Harrison
with?
had a couple 200-yard games. In fact, he had one against the Patriots, if memory serves me correct. But we got Calvin Johnson. That's one.
All right, give me an era. Wait, give me an era. Give me an era. Give me an era. No, I know it wasn't Bambi because that was before they was keeping stats like that.
Right.
Shit. Did they play for the Chargers?
No. But one came against the Chargers.
Damn.
Barry Brown?
No.
Was one of them a cowboy?
And the answer to that is no.
Wait, hold
God
on.
damn. Good. You're gonna have to tell us this.
The only one you guys got was Calvin Johnson. That came against the Cowboys.
All right, so you got Willie Anderson,
Flipper Anderson. So we got 2.
Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jones.
That's 3. Even 300.
Smith played for the Jaguars. Jimmy Smith.
Nope.
Not Jimmy Smith.
Go
God
see y'all
damn.
tonight.
All right, man.
All right.
All right.
Peace out.
Here the see. Oh, AB left. Okay.
What's the
He'll be
answers?
back.
Stephon Page.
That's 4 with the Chiefs.
Mm.
The other 2 are Jim Benton
Okay.
and Cloyce Box. 303 and 302 respectively.
Oh man, I couldn't
Yeah,
imagine
those are
that.
way back in history. Try
Okay.
this
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Speaking of
okay.
Who has the most Who has the most tackles in NFL history?
Me.
I believe we're not talking about. We're not talking
I was
about.
gonna say Ray Lewis.
Actually, that is correct.
Mhm.
That is funny because when I looked it up, who does have the most tackles? Oh, no wonder this motherfucker went to the Hall of Fame. God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, Ray
This
Lewis,
motherfucker.
man,
Ray
he was
Lewis.
a monster.
It's funny
Matter of
because
fact,
I've
I'll
actually
couple
seen him
that.
playing for so long. You're like,
I'll couple that. I'll couple that. There are 2 defenders in NFL history with 2,000 plus combined tackles. We just said one, Ray Lewis. Who's the other?
I want to say Junior Seau.
Close, but no.
Okay.
Lawrence Taylor.
Or Mike
No.
Mike Singletary.
Mm-mm.
Urlacher?
No.
Buckets?
Mm-mm.
No, they didn't keep them stats then.
God damn. Give me a clue.
What team and era?
Washington Redskins.
Oh, what's his name?
Dexter Manley?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Marshall, Wilbur Marshall.
No.
God damn, who is it?
London Fletcher.
Fletcher, there it is. London Fletcher. Damn.
What's the next closest? What's the next closest tackles to those motherfuckers?
Junior Seau, 1847. Bobby Wagner, 1838. And Jesse Tuggle, 1835.
So you telling me?
Pardon.
So you telling me what's Fletcher and Ray's totals?
Ray Lewis, 2059. London Fletcher, 2039.
Oh man, they dwarfed them dudes.
Oh, that means they were everywhere on the goddamn field.
Fuck yeah, as middle linebackers. All right, try this one. Let me see if I can get y'all to get this one. Who was the first quarterback in Super Bowl history with a 400-yard game?
Shoot.
How recent?
Say again.
400 yards. That's got to be what was that? Was that Jake Delhomme?
No.
Because I know him and Tom Brady was airing that ball out in the second half.
It wasn't John Elway.
No.
It wasn't
He
Brady.
does have 300 yards in a Super Bowl win, but he doesn't have 400.
Wait, say that again.
Who was the first quarterback in Super Bowl history with a 400-yard game?
How do you get 400 yards and not win?
Oh, this team won. Trust me.
Oh, you know
the Redskins. What's his name? The quarterback.
No.
Well, he didn't win it.
It's not Doug Williams.
No, they won, but
Not
he
Doug.
a lot of yards. Jesus.
He only threw. Williams only threw for 340.
340.
God damn, that's still a lot.
That's still a lot.
And 270 of those came in the second quarter.
God damn. Those motherfuckers can't get that at 4.
270 of those came in the second quarter.
Nigga was putting on mad numbers.
Yeah, live in the 80s.
You don't hear his name a lot, do you? And for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Now Brett Favre. Let's see.
It wasn't Brady. It wasn't Favre.
Mm-mm.
God damn.
It could have been not Joe Montana.
No, I wish it was, but it wasn't. The most he had was 357, and that came in Super Bowl 23.
Was it Drew Bledsoe?
Hell no.
Definitely not Tom Brady.
And it's not Brady.
think.
Oh no, you said they won the game. Hold on.
They won
I
the
think
game.
definitely
Exactly.
not. Well, what it could be Big Ben?
Nope.
Okay, who is it?
Joe Flacco? No.
Bay,
Oh,
you
yeah.
gonna kick. Bay's gonna kick himself for this because I told him this before when I did a segment for him on his show. The answer is Kurt Warner from the St. Louis
Wow.
Rams.
Oh, wow. Greatest show on turf.
29 of 45, 414 yards, and threw 2 scores.
Hey, Charles, guess what?
What?
The show on turf is we coming to the neck of your woods. So you know that, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
show on turf is coming. I can't wait. I'm trying to get some tickets back.
We the greatest show. We the greatest show in the dirt.
I'll give y'all an easy one. Who is the only receiver in Super Bowl history with a 200-yard game? Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
11 for 215.
Wait, didn't what's the name put up 208?
Who's that?
The guy from Green Bay, the white guy.
No.
How much did he put up?
$170.
170.
Damn. Yeah,
Okay.
only receiver
He
in
was
Super
all-
Bowl history with a 200-yard game is Jerry Rice, and he did it against Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm actually that old to remember the show.
I remember. You know what,
WKRP
Charles?
in Cincinnati.
You know what, Charles? You know what my wife got me to honor that show? We talked about it, the turkey drop episode.
Oh,
1 week later, I swear to God, we were talking about it. And then 1 week later, I see a shirt laying on the bed for me, and it says the most iconic phrase in that show's history. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Are y'all familiar with the turkey drop in that show?
Yep.
So I'm asking
We
you.
watched the episode. Jody and I watched the episode. I found it. We watched the episode and laughed our asses to sleep.
I'm talking about them, the other ones. Are y'all familiar with it? I'll go ahead, explain it to him. No man.
So the station manager had this stupid idea for a Thanksgiving stunt. He was explaining it, and then the next thing I heard was 20 live turkeys. So Les, who was the reporter for the station, went out and was covering it. The plane was up in the helicopter was up in the air, and it was unfurling the sign and everything. And the thought was to drop them, and they start flying. One problem: they were frozen.
No, they were alive. That's how you get the iconic phrase.
They dropped Yeah, you're right. They were alive.
They were alive. Throwing them out of the helicopter alive.
Yep.
The turkey drop.
Man, all I had to hear Les scream was, "Oh my God, they're turkeys!" He was describing something falling out of the air, feathers flying everywhere. The boss comes in with feathers all over his face. And as the credits were rolling, all you heard him say was, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly."
Oh my God.
Research the turkey drop episode on WKRP, the most iconic episode in the entire series.
You know what? I wish like hell YouTube would let me play. YouTube will let me play the theme song to Barney Miller. And I told Art this.
I actually have that song.
I actually told Art, I said, you know what the realest cop show in the world really was? He was like, what's that? Barney Miller. That is the realest cop show. People think it's cops. No, that's not real all the time.
Barney Miller was
Barney
better.
Miller. Barney Miller
was better.
was the realest cop show ever because some of the silliest shit you would see. And people will be like, it can't be that silly. Till people was like, yeah.
Yes, it is.
I never knew law enforcement was this damn silly. Yep. Welcome to my world. That's why you have to put the wrestling stories.
I love Barney Miller. Absolutely love Barney Miller. All right. Now I gotta find it and send it to you. God damn it. Okay. Here you go. On a Monday night game, there was a receiver that caught not one, but 2 90-yard touchdown passes. Name him. I heard it. Say it again.
John Taylor.
John Taylor. Against the Rams.
Okay, here's a good question.
Do not question me on my Niners.
Here's a good question. Hardest hitting motherfuckers. Jack Tatum.
Jack Tatum.
Atwater.
Who frightened Christian Okoye.
Fred Biletnikoff.
Yeah.
George Kittle when he's blocking.
Let me see. Who's the one dude that they had on the fucking on the Buccaneers when they won?
Oh, Lynch.
Yep, John Lynch.
John Lynch.
We had some monsters who used to play.
Mike Singletary.
Mike Singletary. Paul Krause. What's the other? Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott.
Man, Ronnie Lott did not play.
Ray Lewis.
Anybody who injures his finger and tells the training staff, cut it off, I want to go back and play. You don't mess with him.
No.
Yeah, Ronnie Lott is that true.
Ronnie Lott was the truth. Young Ed Reed. Young Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
Of course, Ray Lewis.
Of course, you got to include Ray Lewis.
Who was Derek Brooks?
Derek Brooks.
Who was that one motherfucker? Alan Page.
Alan Page. John Randall.
Andre Waters.
Lawrence Taylor.
Who was that linebacker from who was the linebacker from the 49ers?
Bill Romanowski?
No, the one who went Romanowski, yeah. And the one who went to like 9 straight Pro Bowls.
Charles Haley.
No. Ken Norton Jr.
Ken Norton.
I mentioned that.
Ken Norton Jr.
Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, even if you watch the footage, I never seen a fucking quarterback. I never seen a cornerback hit this goddamn hard. And believe it or not, he still holds the record for most interceptions in the season. You know who that motherfucker is, don't you? Dick Night Train Lane.
Yeah.
Dick Lane.
There's a reason why they call him Night Train, because you never seen a quarterback hit you goddamn hard.
Right.
Even it is.
Guys, who's the only running back in Super Bowl history with a 200-yard game?
Roger Craig?
No,
Timmy Smith.
Yep.
Who?
Timmy Smith, Washington Redskins.
It was just Judge Williams' aerial show. Timmy Smith was running all over the place.
All right, there you go.
22 carries, 204 yards, and he scored twice.
And he was like a second-year player or something.
Yeah,
he wasn't even that good.
Second-year player. He had a ton of injuries out of Texas Tech.
Yeah,
he had a ton of injuries, but he's got that game and a Super Bowl ring to his credit.
You're like, I'm gonna show you motherfuckers today. Shit.
He came out a winner. Speaking of winners, don't forget Roger Craig when he was high stepping in that Super Bowl against Miami.
You know what? Roger Craig's run. Matter of fact, let me just find it. Hold on.
Matter of fact, here's one for you. Who's your top 5 to 10 greatest power backs?
Ooh, Earl Campbell.
Why'd you give me that? Shucks.
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell is built like a silverback gorilla.
Earl Campbell, Derrick Henry, Barry Sanders because of his low center of gravity. Emmitt Smith, same reason. Roger Craig, y'all already know.
Allstott.
Mike Allstott.
You're a good man for those. You're a good man for those.
Number 40.
Allstott wore the fuck out of that neck brace and then ran you over in the process.
Who was that? That running back that was with the Ravens? The one
Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis?
Yeah, Jamal Lewis. Yeah,
Jamal Lewis. Yeah.
Jamal Lewis was a cheat code in his day, man. You
Yeah, he
saw
was.
coaches. You saw coaches get on the field to tackle.
Here's a good one. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, and athletic too.
Charles, look in the back.
He was real
One I
athletic.
just queued up is one of my favorite runs of all time, featuring Roger Craig.
And it gives those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig.
Here we go. He's high step. High step. High step. He's high step. High step. Go, 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 go.
One player
And he made one player miss the tackle twice.
A lot of highlights for a long time. What an effort by Roger Craig. John Robinson was just saying yesterday, he thinks right now Roger Craig is the best running back in the league.
Fair use. This is CPS. The year was 1988.
High and keeping the shoulders low. And he
McIntyre
makes
pulled
every team
and
look
Craig's
like
gone.
bad tacklers. Watch the way he gets that high knee action, keeps those feet going like two pistons. Then at the same time that the knees are going high and keeping going, the shoulder can get low to take on a tackler. I tell you, that is an amazing ability that this guy has.
He was running that way since he came out of Nebraska. And the crazy part is, when he came into the league, he was a fullback. Then Tom Bradman showed up in 1986, and you know the rest of the story.
I'm just thinking to myself, like when some of these players who come out of nowhere, you be like, y'all didn't see this motherfucker's talent?
Right?
The fuck were you taking a piss?
You know what, Charles, is so funny? I was talking about Roger Craig on my show, and I had someone message me, call me a coon, and then couple it with the question, who's Roger Craig? And I'm thinking,
Somebody who's definitely a sack of hammers. That's individual.
Wait a minute.
Ask you that question.
I answered it with,
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
and
why do they call you a coon? Why do they call you a coon?
I
If you're
have
talking about a
no-
black running back.
Listen, I wish I had an answer to that question, Charles. I don't. But
Yeah, some
someone
people-
did. Y'all want to hear something funny? When I made my comment about the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark situation, the common foul that people want to blow out of proportion, I had 3 people call me a coon on my video with that.
You want to hear something funny? How
Which
do you?
tells me I'm doing my job.
For those people, you want to know how you circumcise a redneck? You kick your sister in the chest.
Yep.
But anyway,
Oh my God!
By
This
the way,
that whole crap, or all the way
man.
back to the beginning. When I was saying we got to drop all that racism shit.
yeah, because you can't. You take that shit out of sports when you just see. This is the part. I'm an old athlete, man.
You gotta tell it to
Get the fuck out of here!
little George
I'm
Carlin.
an old athlete, man. Either you competitive or you're not.
Exactly.
And this is the part where we don't like to talk about. There's a lot of motherfuckers who aren't. You know, we got into this participation trophy shit. Thank
Mhm.
God I was not part of that generation.
Same here.
I'm not. When I was winning championships of wrestling, you know, I was very sportsman. Unless you got dirty, I got dirtier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because I'm just thinking to myself, sorry for your damn luck. It's not my fault you suck.
You know
When
what?
you were-
When I tried out for varsity baseball and just didn't make the cut, the coach pulled me aside and said, "You won't make it as a player, but we know how much you love talking about sports. Do you want to be our statistician?" Fuck yeah. And nearly started broadcasting there. Here we go with the gynocracy again. But that got intercepted by my mother. And I made a critical mistake because the coach gave me a uniform, put my name on the back of it. Matter of fact, the guys saw me put my name on the nameplate on the back of the uniform, and they were so excited. And they said, finally, we're going to have some accurate stats. I said, I can dig that. I laid it on the couch, getting ready to wash it, and then my mother came in the house before I could get back downstairs to it. Fuck.
And what the hell did she do to it?
She told me to quit.
Why?
She was afraid it would mess with my grades.
If you're doing statistics, that would actually help with
your grades. Yeah, it does.
Look,
I swear to God.
Just
no
a moment,
offense.
Charles.
No
My
offense to your mom. I
dad
gotta get this. Go ahead.
My dad tried to tell her that. And he also tried to tell her that's how I study math, looking at box scores. Something my dad taught me. Now you can go ahead, Charles.
Sometimes the biggest hindrances in our lives as black men are sometimes the people we were birthed from.
Yep.
And I remember my mom tried to tell me not to wrestle. I'll tell you the
Why?
truth. What if he gets hurt? My father, my godfather said, let the boy be a man. Let him go out on his own sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I can't throw a ball for shit.
Right.
I don't like basketball. I'm not going to jump that high, even though I'm actually pretty fucking agile.
Mm-hmm.
I could throw a punch. I could throw a kick. There are no kickboxing in high school.
Right.
So, hey, let's try this wrestling thing. And lost my first match, but ended up winning the championship my first year.
Yep.
And I could tell you what happened when I came home. I was like, how'd you do? I won. Oh, you won a match? No, I won a championship. They said, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody, you just started. Yeah, that's what I said. And everybody was pissed with me.
Yep.
Like, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
And then when I got an offer to go to Germany and they were paying money for me to go, I was like, hell yeah, I can win. They're like, okay, how'd you do? I won. Won what? Bronze? What the fuck? This is what came out of my mother's mouth. Like, dude, if we knew you were this good, we should have got you to do it when you're younger. I said,
Here's a
yeah.
fucked up one
I said, if you did, I'd probably be an Olympic gold medalist right now.
Right.
But that's called how much we do not develop our children in the black community.
That's the truth.
It takes a very, like, think about it. I know. And tell me if I'm wrong, electrician. When you went to trial for electrical engineering and stuff like that, how many people supported you?
I had probably just my dad. That was it.
That everybody was like, it's dangerous, it's too hard, too much math,
too
much numbers. And you've been doing it for how long?
32 years.
And think about it. How many times family members come ask you for money? Hey, I know you're making that big money now.
I just had my aunt just ask me to bill out her son.
You know what, electrician? Here's a couple that. The only person that supported me being a broadcaster and learning about the game when I was listening to a lot of Bulls games back home in Chicago was my dad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mom yelled at me, Mom would yell at me, don't use my recorder anymore. That's not yours. I said, okay. So I started recording Bulls games on my stereo that I got for Christmas. I ran out of tape. I inadvertently saw hers and I said I was sorry. You know what my dad did? He drove to Walgreens, got me a 10-pack of audio tapes.
Yep.
Came back, waited till my mom stopped yelling at me, looked downstairs, and then put that brick of tapes on my desk and walked out smiling.
There you go.
Yeah. I want you to think about this, right? The only time my dad didn't want me to go as an enlisted. He wanted me to go as an officer.
Mm-hmm.
But guess who drove 8 hours from Baltimore to Fort Benning, Georgia?
Your dad.
Your dad.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. People say, "What's your best graduation?" I said it's the police one because both were there. My mom came for there, and my dad came for the basic. And I mean, it's kind of crazy because if I went in as an officer, one, I had to have a 4-year degree, and me in college, we got along, but I partied too much. So I partied hard.
Hey, look,
And
I got the hell out. I got the hell out of the house for college. That's all I need to tell you.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even when I went to the police department, people was like, it's dangerous out here, and I'm like, nigga, I just came from Iraq.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm going to show y'all the reason I got it. I'm going to show y'all the reason I got into broadcasting. And for years, Charles, look in the back. I listened to this voice do play-by-play.
Top of the circle. Jordan on the move. Right side, Paxson. Pax punch into Cartwright against Devont. Devont blocks the shot. Now Paxson has it right corner and fires good. John Paxson sticks a dagger into the heart of the Lakers. Michael
From
Jordan
NBC 1991 for the video. Fair use.
In deep left corner, Paxson. He comes up shooting again. Book it. John Paxson sticks another one. Pax with 14, and the Bulls have a 4-point lead. Jordan double team, right corner, he plays to Perkins. His 3, rimming, no. Rebound to Scottie Pippen. Scottie dribbles out on ahead to Paxson. Pax blowing in on Magic Johnson, scoops it in. The Bulls lead by 6. John Paxson coming up with big plays for the
People
Bulls.
forgot how good John Paxson is.
Yeah, John Paxson was real good.
Everybody forgets John Paxson.
John Paxson sticks another one.
And the voice you hear doing the play-by-play is that of the late, great Jim Durham.
John Paxson with that wide open shot.
Yeah, that white boy was cold, wasn't
he?
Man.
Here, Jim. Michael right of the lane, right side Paxson. He comes up shooting. Book it. Again, Johnny. John Paxson sticks another one. What a cold-blooded job of shooting by
See?
Paxson
Cold-blooded.
in the fourth quarter of what could be the championship game. Timeout Bulls, 22 on the shot clock, 32 on the big one.
All right, fellas, I'm going to go eat. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, in a minute.
All right. Any last words, fellas? Thank you for all joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for the support, Electrician, and everyone else.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you for allowing me up, Charles. Really appreciate you.
Don't forget to go to AB Media. He's hosting the Coliseum tonight. Always good. You never know where the conversation is going to be at Faulkner's house. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Woo!
Bye-bye.
Woo!